You're listening to the Snyder-Collin podcast. Presented by FPP Broadcasting. This week's episode is sponsored by California, the state of California.
Here we come.
Here we come. You know, they're thinking about dividing it into 3 parts. Did you know this?
They're
You heard about this?
sectors?
Yeah.
Like northern, mid, south?
Actually, pretty close. Northern, southern, then just original recipe California.
I don't get it.
Northern California, Southern California, then just California.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Like, wait, like literally? Like on a map?
Yes, they're thinking about doing it. It's on the ballot now.
I don't
Real shit.
I don't see why anyone would be like, yeah, that needs to be done.
I don't see why either, but
Yeah. It's like, okay.
it's being done, Colin.
Like, are they going to be their own states with capitals?
Yeah, they would be.
So it's like North and South Dakota.
It's basically just an election ploy. Because the two, Northern California would be Republican, and I believe so would regular California. But Southern California would obviously remain extremely liberal.
That would be interesting, to say the least.
It would be damning to a presidential candidate who is a Democrat. Because it would be harder to get elected. Because as it stands right now, as it stands right now, like basically New York City and Los Angeles, in general, the states of New York and the state of California, both of those have enough population to where they choose the president.
Yeah, because they're massive states.
Yep, that's why the Electoral College exists. Anyway, start the show.
No more politics. This is Summer Movie Smackdown.
Yeah. As you can see when I'm on today, just like we on every other day, go get it. Get to the bag music, Cool Kid Trap music type shit, I'm a rare individual, cut off your hand if it's killing you. You gotta stand on your tippy don't take. I got go like I'm Pooty. She give me tank, then I sleep on her booty. Bought me a house, turn that bitch to a cutie. I'm flying, I elevate. I got problems, I open case.
I've seen so many movies.
So have I.
We're back. We're back, baby.
We are back.
Welcome,
baby.
Welcome to the Snyder-Collin podcast. I'm your host, Collin Goode.
I am also your host, Jacob Snyder. And I am your co-host as well. Mm-hmm. You are my co-host. It's kind of weird how the host-co-host relationship works. It's a strange dynamic.
It's like we have like this weird codependent relationship that's like fueled by cocaine.
Yes, it's true.
Do we love each other, or is it the
ferocious sex too?
Do we love each other, Jacob, or is it the blow that we love?
It's the blow, Colin. It's the blow. It's always been the blow.
Welcome to an exciting episode. So many topics and films, video game trailers, movie trailers, musical albums.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the weekly.
Yes.
Thing. I was very relieved being on vacation and being away from it, like having the show, knowing that it would upload automatically, like knowing that we wouldn't have to worry about anything. It was nice to have that there, like
good job, Jacob. You thought ahead.
Thanks, buddy.
You thought ahead, and it paid off.
Thanks, buddy. I hope our listeners stuck around. Hope you're still here to listen to our podcast.
Oh, don't worry, Jacob. I'm gonna make a big post about this on Facebook tonight. And I'm going to share it, and all my friends are going to see it.
I can't tell if you're being sarcastic.
No, I'm dead serious.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Well, we do have a lot of movies to cover. But first, before we get into movies, go ahead. What you were saying?
Summer Movie Smackdown. We got Solo, a Star Wars story in one trailer, weighing in at a shitty $80 million opening.
Yeah.
Ding, ding, ding. We got Hereditary in another corner. Critical darling. Audiences hate it. We also have Upgrade.
We'll talk about Upgrade.
Yeah, Upgrade.
And I want to go into Incredibles 2 a little bit. We haven't.
Did you see it?
No, but I would rather you just cover it.
I'm going to talk about Incredibles 2 and First Reformed briefly. Probably Incredibles 2 a little more lengthy. First Reformed no one's heard of, but it's an amazing movie. So we'll get into that.
Cool.
So before we jump into all these summer movies, there was some shocking news that dropped. I guess it dropped while we were watching Hereditary together.
Yes, earlier this afternoon. It was So last night, Miami Beach. I don't recall what county. In Miami.
Moonlight County.
Yeah, yeah. It's not Miami-Dade. Maybe it is. I don't know. But they reported that a man was shot and brought to the hospital earlier this morning or Monday morning. I don't know when the listener is listening to this. Earlier Monday morning, or late at night. I don't know. I can't remember. But the guy was pronounced dead. Turns out it's XXXTentacion, and he has passed away.
An artist that we've discussed on the podcast before.
We have.
Now he's dead at the tender age of 20.
20 years old. That is, I am not the biggest fan of his music. I was not ever really the biggest fan of his music.
But he was always interesting.
Yeah.
You always wanted to know like what he was releasing. It was kind of like an oddity,
Yeah. He's kind of an anomaly. Yeah. He's just bizarre. It was not too long ago that I watched a hour-long radio interview with him. I don't recall what show it was on. It wasn't The Breakfast Club.
Is it the one where he's like talking to the woman who's interviewing and he's like, "Can I call you blah 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 blah?" And she's just like, no.
It is sort of like that. Yeah, yeah. He to quote the man who was passed, he requests that the young lady call him Young Dagger Dick.
That's it.
Yes, and she says no, because who would?
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, who wouldn't say no to that? But anyway, I digress. It's really that just because we weren't huge fans of his music, you really liked the song "Look at Me." I think it was probably his best song. Wasn't crazy about it though.
It has horrible, like stupid, vulgar lyrics, but that's the song you want to listen to. That's his song.
Yeah,
it's his big song.
You're right. I would agree with that.
And I kind of liked what he was going for a little bit, just kind of a little more aggressive, but well, fuck.
It's
He's dead.
Yeah. It's just because we didn't really care for his music too much.
When he released his first album, I listened to a few songs of that, and it was really slow and boring. And
which album is this again?
17.
Was 17 his first album?
Yeah, it's for his debut
I
studio
listened to
album.
17 as well.
He had lots of mixtapes before that, and like SoundCloud songs. But I listened to that, and it was just, I don't know, it was really like slow and dreary. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, you're supposed to be like aggressive and like bombastic. This is boring. So,
from that radio interview that I watched with him, he struck me as a very disturbed guy. Like,
definitely.
And like some of it might have been like a facade a little bit. Like, I think that he was trying to act. The cool thing now is to act like all emotional. And he was, like kind of doing that a little, I think. But I also think a lot of it was from the heart. He's actually like a mentally like he struggled with like depression and like other like things that are real like issues right now, especially like that are getting attention. Like he struggled with things like that, and suicide, and I'm not gonna list, but it's 20 is way too young. Like that's really really heavy. That sucks, and I wish that he was still around to make more music, even if I didn't really care for it. Somebody did,
so we could at least make fun of it.
Yeah, exactly. So we could review it. I'd much rather give a bad review to a artist and keep them alive, than obviously what's happening now.
Have him shot dead.
Yeah. He was apparently shot in like a robbery, like that someone was trying to rob him of a Louis Vuitton bag while he was shopping for motorcycles.
X on a motorcycle.
It sounds just an insane way to go out. Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna like be like some sort of like legacy artist now, or do you think everyone's gonna forget about him completely?
You mentioned this on the way when we talked about it earlier. A legacy artist. You brought up. I don't know if a legacy artist necessarily, but like you brought up the point of like, will this change the genre as a whole? In terms of the up and coming like SoundCloud rappers.
Yeah, I think it's done.
Yeah, I would say that like, now 2 of them have passed away way too early.
Like these like face tattoo rappers that get big on like social media, and like they're fucking like 15 and they're like straight out of like a second chance school. Yeah, and they're horribly violent and terrible kids who become millionaires. Nah, I think that it's gonna die eventually. This is mainly like things that are covered on Anthony Fantano's second channel, which is just called Fantano.
Fantano, yeah.
Yeah, he has a series called Let's Argue, which is really interesting. It's like Twitter based, like tweet me on Twitter like a hot take or whatever, and someone was like, trap is like the new disco, it's gonna die and go away soon. So it's not my original idea because it came out of that video, but I think this is gonna be one of the things that kind of like, it's like the first step. Because it kind of happened when Kurt Cobain killed himself. Grunge died out. It became post-grunge. I mean...
Yeah, but, like, I would say that at this point, is X really, like, was he the face of SoundCloud rappers? I would not say so at all.
But there's not really a face for it to begin with.
You're right, but, like, you have to compare that. If we're comparing it with, like, the death of grunge, then we're saying, like, Kurt Cobain was the face of grunge.
I mean,
yes, there were other artists out there, but like I would say that he was the face of it. Like he was the poster boy. Yeah. There's not a poster boy for SoundCloud rappers.
But
I would say like maybe
X was pretty famous, but how famous really was he?
I don't know if he wasn't synonymous with it. I think of 3 others before I think of him in terms of SoundCloud rappers.
I think if we're saying SoundCloud rapper, I immediately think of X.
I immediately think off the top of my head, I think of Lil Peep because he's dead. That was the aforementioned other dead SoundCloud rapper that I mentioned. And I think of Lil Pump, and then like maybe I think of X, or maybe I think of like Lil Xans, or maybe like Lil Skies. I like Lil Skies. He's actually okay.
Perp.
Is that a song
that's an artist, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I don't know any of these guys. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Oh,
again, I think of him before I think of X, because X was kind of straying away from that at the end. Like, I guess Lil Peep was too. Because Jimmy's listened to a little bit of Lil Peep. I have not listened to any of them.
My friend Casey, I went over to his place. He has a fucking framed poster of Lil Peep.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I was like, damn.
That's hardcore.
Yeah, so I guess he had some fans.
Apparently, it's more along the lines of like what X was getting into with 17. Like, it's more gothic and like. But apparently it's well produced and pretty good. So
sure.
The music community really, whereas like with this one, I'm reading a lot of tweets that are like, I wasn't a fan of your music, but like you're a really like nice guy and you inspired me and like, all this, and I'm gonna miss you obviously because I'm a human being and you have love for your fellow man and you don't want them to die just because you're not the biggest fan of their music. But with Lil Peep, it's like he was gonna change like things. The landscape of hip-hop would have actually changed at some point because of this person, possibly. And that's, I don't know, we're getting a little off topic, but like,
there's just so many of them, like,
and the thing is, like, it's an easy platform to get on because it's SoundCloud. Like, anybody can post there. It's fairly easy to gain an audience.
Look at Musa. He's basically trying to like do it
with
his rap career.
Yeah, shout out to Musa Alciro or on Instagram.
Lil Moo.
Moose in depth. He's not Lil Moo. I think he should change it to Lil Moo, but I don't know if he will. I 100% endorse that if he does it.
Lil Moo.
Lil Moo. Yeah, MU. I was thinking MOO, but MU is way better. Yeah, because it's his name. Like that's how he spells it, so that makes total sense. Yeah,
Lil Moo,
shout out to Musa
producer
Alciro. At Moose in depth.
4 years later, Lil Moo has been shot dead.
Oh my god, I hope not. High school with that guy.
We can get more into this topic later.
Time.
But,
yeah,
it's very shocking because not this type of news pops up about when it comes to music.
Yeah.
So when it does, it's it's a big deal for a while.
I will say I don't think this is going to do it in for SoundCloud rappers. I just don't think so. Because, like, it's not like he died of an overdose or something, like, of his violent life. It seems to be just a freak thing. Someone murdered him. Like, that's not his fault. Like, I mean, we don't know the whole story. It might have been his fault. I don't know. But I'm not going to assume that. I just don't think... If he had, like, OD'd on Xanax or something, God forbid that ever happened to any of these guys. Like, I think that has a more likely... There's a higher chance that that'll change the landscape of hip-hop.
Because that's what they're, like, singing about. They're like, wait, we like doing this.
That's what they're singing about, and that's what they're criticized the most for. And I just... I think that I don't know. Anyway, rest in peace, XXX Tentacion. It's really upsetting.
I'm never going to Miami.
I mean,
Fuck
Miami's
that.
a terrible place in general. I've been down there once, and it was awful, terrible. Not really. It was okay, but whatever. Anyway,
So,
moving on.
Round 1, the long awaited. It's one of the first things we ever discussed. If you go on our Spotify or iTunes, very first episode is Han Solo problems.
Yeah, you're right. It is. I totally forgot about that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll get into it. So, Solo, a Star Wars story. We haven't touched on this. We're probably the last people to ever touch on it that's doing a podcast.
Yeah, I believe
like an
we
official
are too,
review.
actually.
Yeah.
Directed by Ron Howard.
Directed by Ron Howard. Through production, this movie went through major reshoots. About 70% of the movie is what's reported. I'm gonna guess it's more toward 85%.
Yeah, I want to say everything except for like B-roll. Was reshot. Maybe.
Yeah, given that the budget for the original movie was, I assume, around like 150 mil, they were probably trying to make this on the low, and then it ended up like doubling to 200 million because they had to get all the actors back. A movie, reshoot the whole movie, plus another 100 or so million for advertising. It's the most expensive Star Wars movie ever made. It's one of the most expensive ever made too.
Star Wars right now is in a bad spot.
It is in a bad spot. I want to talk about the box office.
Yeah, if you like the movies or not, no one is thrilled with Lucasfilm right now. I
would say that some are. There's a select few that are. I'm not particularly. This isn't to give away a spoiler or anything. I'm not upset with Lucasfilm at all right now. I don't really. I'm fine with where we are in Star Wars lore right now. This trilogy hasn't been capped off yet. All the spin-offs haven't come out. And not to give anything away, but this movie is not a step in the wrong direction for me anyway. I think it shouldn't have been made.
Yeah,
but
it
it certainly is way better than it should have been. Given all the behind-the-scenes problems and even the fact that going into this, no one wanted to see a Han Solo movie. The vast majority of people didn't anyway.
A Han Solo movie, not with Harrison Ford.
Yeah, I would say that even with Harrison Ford, who wants to see that? That's just... But I would say, even though not very many people were looking forward to it, and I didn't really think they'd have much to work with, they made something out of nothing in a way.
It's all right. It's like a bag of trail mix. There's some good stuff in there, but
you say that in your Letterboxd review too, and I find it funny that you say it's a bag of trail mix. Don't mention anything that's in trail mix. You're like, you got your M&Ms, you got your peanuts.
That depends on what you like.
You got your raisins.
Mix, not just what I like.
What are your favorite things in trail mix?
I guess like peanuts, M&Ms. Not like the raisins and
I think here's a crazy thought. Trail mix as a whole is best consumed all at once. So you get those pops of flavors. You get the sweetness.
Not one by one.
No. You get the over sweetness of a raisin. You get the nutrients and the fattiness of a nut. You get the just pure nirvana of an M&M thrown in there. It's absolute heaven. If you consume it all at once. Not the whole fucking bag of trail mix at once, okay? Handful. Take a handful. It's randomly assorted. Kind of like Thanos kills people. Just completely by random. No bias at all. Don't choose more M&Ms.
Anyways.
It pisses on it. Shut the fuck up, Colin. I'm talking about trail mix here, alright? This is what's important.
Solo, anyway. I went in with pretty low expectations. It was alright. It wasn't great. Had some decent things in there. It should have been a novel. It should have been a book. You
said that. You said it should have been an expanded... Not an expanded universe, but like an expanded universe.
Yeah, like that way the book could come out, and we wouldn't have to read it. And then one day you'd tell me about some things that were canon that were featured in the book, and I'd start to zone out and be like, oh,
Yeah. Speaking of canonical differences with books and stuff, we'll get into this in spoilers. There's a lot of things in this movie that I liked and disliked that they added to or took away from the canon, and I'll get into that a little bit. I'll touch on it slightly. I know that that's not really why everybody's here, but it sort of bothered me in a couple places, but also I liked it in a few more. It did it better than the books did it, because as you may know, there's the Star Wars Legends universe, and that went into that after the original trilogy came out. Writers were given free reign to do whatever they wanted, so they made like sequel trilogies.
Books,
like books that had like sequel trilogies, like Episode 7, 8, 9, like all of what would happen here. And they also did like prequels for Han Solo and stuff. All of that is now non-canon.
Yeah,
it's in the Star Wars Legends. Yep, it's referred to as the Legends. And there's some stuff that's borrowed from Legends lore. There's some stuff that's just absolutely adapted from Legends lore. And there's also stuff that's thrown out entirely. And I think they threw out one thing that bothered the shit out of me. But whatever. We'll get into it.
Spoilers.
Yeah, we'll touch on that in spoilers.
Let's talk about things that we liked.
Yeah, things. Are we in spoilers now?
Yeah, fuck it.
Okay, all right.
Well. Let's just go
7 out of 10.
Anyway. I give it a 6, and that's not knocking it. Just
fair enough.
Just okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I felt like
I wouldn't watch it again, and I wouldn't recommend it unless you're like. I mean, if you're gonna watch it because you're a Star Wars fan, you probably already went out and saw it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Part of me wonders how good this movie would be if it weren't a Star Wars movie. How good I would think it was. Like if it's just like this just like this space cowboy movie with no context, what would it be about?
It like went straight to Netflix or something.
Yeah.
Solo.
I feel like it stands on its own in a way where like Rogue One relied really heavily on like fan service and stuff like that.
Definitely.
This one doesn't really do that.
It doesn't really.
It does it in one spot, very, very much toward the end. That's quite spoilery, but and that's not really fan servicey. It's just more of like teasing true fans.
You're talking about Darth Maul.
Yes.
Yeah.
God fucking damn. All right, we're in spoilers now. I guess this movie has been out for like a month, so
yeah.
Whatever. All right, we're into spoilers now. So what did we like?
I liked the general like plot and like story, I guess. Like it kind of like moved along.
I enjoyed. All right, here's the things that I enjoyed. I liked Chewbacca and Han meeting in their friendship.
Yes,
liked that quite a bit.
All right, once Chewie came in, the movie like started picking up. Before that, I was hating it. Like the first. All right, first of all, let's talk about the opening scene where it's like a long time ago.
Should we get into that like in dislikes or just go through the movie and talk about what we like and dislike? There's no structure to this review.
There isn't, but I thought that was...
That's bizarre. Yeah, that was strange.
Yeah, that was done pretty badly.
Yeah, it just felt like a decision late in the game. Why not just have a scroll? It's
more like blue text, and it's just like,
what? that has never been done, and I never thought that would be done. Like
it did it better in Rogue One. Where
it like starts.
It's like an abrupt music cue, like a planet, and it's like, whoa. And this one, it's just like more blue text.
Yeah, it says a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, ... and then you expect a scroll, and then just more of the same font, blue text, and just like, it's a lawless time.
Oh, but it's different.
That was a strange choice. Yeah. I would just put it in like...
I would have copied Rogue One.
I wouldn't have even... If you want to put words or context to your film before it, fine, whatever, don't care. If it suits the story, it's not that it didn't suit the story. It's not a problem for me. It's just like you should just put it in the scroll font and color. Make it yellow. So it's not copying the scroll, but then it's also not just like being weird, and it took me out of the movie. I would have liked it if it was just yellow text that said it's a lawless time. Whatever, smugglers are fucking crazy now.
Corellia's a dump.
Yep.
I thought they could have done that title thing. I don't know. They could have done something else with it.
Yeah, but it seemed cheesy to me.
And it just gets started with like some sort of chase, and it reeks of like edits and reshoots and like cobbled together, and it's like, oh god damn it, here we go. Yeah. 2 hours and 20 minutes of this.
That intro, the stuff
the
on
first like
Corellia,
10-15 minutes is kind of weak.
Yeah, all the way from like him and Kira up until he meets Chewbacca is pretty shitty.
Yes.
Even like they skipped over the most interesting part of Han Solo's stint in the Empire. I like that they borrowed that and say that he's an Empire pilot at some point. Cool.
Is that something you would like? You buy Han Solo doing the past? Just like, I was in the Empire.
I buy it because he wanted to be a pilot. and so he saw that as a means to an end.
Okay.
Like,
but he's not
like,
even a pilot. He's
I know,
just some
but
guy
he gets
on the
kicked
ground
out of the Navy
for having a mind of his own.
Does he say that in the movie?
No, he doesn't.
Good.
He says it in the trailer.
He might have actually said that to somebody, but I think he was. It's clear that he wasn't. He didn't have a mind of his own. He was being an asshole. He thinks he had a mind of his own.
But he could have.
He's not the good guy.
But he could have bumped into Woody Harrelson. What's his name in the movie? Baxter.
Beckett.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have bumped into Beckett like in some other scenario instead of like joining the Empire.
Yeah,
I guess.
I don't disagree with you. I liked Woody Harrelson's introduction. I liked him being like
he's wearing like shot up clothes.
Yeah, he's improvising, and he ends up like leading a group of soldiers who he doesn't even care about. He just wants to live. Like he's undercover and stealing from them. I found that interesting that he's like just this dude who just walks in and is like commanding
a smuggler, just trying to like what are they even trying to do? Just steal things?
Pretty much, yeah. Coaxium?
Quasar fluids that Ray's parents are addicted to.
Yeah. I like Chewbacca's entrance. It's nice.
That's when the movie started to be like, oh, this is when it's good. Chewbacca, he gave an excellent performance.
He sure did, didn't he? Or the German guy's name is that plays him now.
No, I mean like Disney, they actually made a Chewbacca.
They made a Wookiee?
Yeah. Yeah, and he's like eternal. So Chewbacca gave a solid performance.
Yeah, he was great. But great, that bear man.
Once Chewbacca came in, it lifted up for me. Yeah, because I liked the scene where they break out and they're kind of just like with each other. Yeah. And it's like, okay, like, all right. And then I like Woody Harrelson. His character is okay, but Woody Harrelson, he's good in pretty much everything. Yeah. So he's a good actor.
I was hearing a lot of reports about his character saying that he's very like forgettable and you forget he's even in the movie, and I don't get that. I actually liked him in the movie. I thought he was fine.
Yeah, like I said,
maybe you're expecting too much.
Yeah, like I said, Woody Harrelson's a good actor, so like his character is fine, but like I like them all being together, the ragtag team. I like that little alien guy.
Yeah, played by Jon Favreau. Isn't that funny?
Yeah, I wish he was in more of it because like he seemed so like.
You knew he was gonna die though because you didn't see him in a lot of the trailers.
He was a very much of a Disney character.
Yeah,
like funny little sidekick guy.
He's like, oh, there's not a nap better than one sleep in a Wookiee's lap. Yeah, I'm like, that's hilarious that he even has that experience to talk about. That's really funny.
He's very positive.
Yeah,
and that's what I
would watch a spin-off of that guy. We should have gotten him.
Yeah, so once all that started happening, I was like, okay, like all right.
Yeah, then the train heist happens.
That's okay.
Yeah, it was kind of boring for me. Yeah. One, they have trains in the Star Wars universe now. That's cool, I guess. Guess it makes sense. Why wouldn't you?
It feels like it's just there because they're like, it needs action. We don't want to bore the audience. It's like, okay.
It feels like it was probably easy to shoot that, too. I think it's really not very hard. CGI, most of it's on soundstage. It's fairly simple.
Have some fans blowing in Alden's face.
Yeah.
We haven't even discussed Alden. Our thoughts on Alden's performance.
Oh, yeah, we really haven't. I thought he was okay.
That's kind of the main selling point of this movie.
Yeah, I thought he was good.
But do you believe that he's Han Solo?
You know, I might believe that he's Han Solo 10 years before we see him in A New Hope. I do kind of buy that. Especially if this is the last we see of him. Because I think it will be.
Other than he's not coming back.
I mean, he has a 3-movie contract.
Oh my god.
But I think it's for like, if he were to like, walk by or something in like a shot of another one of these spin-offs where you see him or something, or he has like one line of dialogue and it's Alden, I won't mind that. I think that he does a good job of not doing an impression of Harrison Ford. Does he ever come across as Harrison Ford, like, oh yeah, it's just like Han Solo in A New Hope? Not really. But is that the goal? No, it's not. It's to be your own thing.
I thought he was fine too. I wasn't like blown away by him or anything. I didn't hate him, but I just don't buy any of this as canon, and that's kind of just fundamentally like a problem with the movie itself and why it shouldn't even exist. It was just a bad idea for a movie.
It was
for a Star Wars movie.
It was, and I feel like they did the best they could with it.
Yeah.
I don't see this being any better. You know what I mean? Like, there's nowhere else this could have gone. Like, other than just being like, without getting into like too fan servicey of things, you would have Boba Fett in it, you'd have Jabba in it, but then again, like, what would this be happening for 10 years? Like, until A New Hope? Like, where does this leave? Like, would it give anything to Han Solo's character? I think it actually develops his character nicely, in a nice enough way to not undermine what happens in the later movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It tells its story. It's fine.
It doesn't ruin the character of
No.
Han Solo. It's
No,
not
it
like
doesn't.
It's not like something so like poorly written or executed happens, where it's just like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Yeah.
um,
It's very easy to ruin his character in this movie, but the movie didn't do that, and I have to give it credit for that. Just because he's a very lovable character. He's quite
scruffy.
scruffy. Yes,
So,
he's a nerf herder.
You have the train heist sequence.
That's fine.
I kind of tune out a little bit. Thandie Newton dies, and I'm like, oh wow, that's sad. And it's just kind of brushed off because it's like
Yeah.
set up that Beckett and then are like in love, and they're like lovers. And I was like, oh wow,
Yeah.
that's really sad, but he's gonna be like upset, and like it doesn't really get into that.
No, he's just kind of a heartless guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't get into like grief.
No.
And then-
How did you like the shot of him giving Han Solo his blaster?
Well, was that in the trailer?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
They're like around a
Cool.
campfire, and
Oh,
Han
when-
Solo's like,
before-
"I have a girl," and Chewbacca's like, "My whole family is gone," and Han's like, "Yeah, but this girl."
And the little monkey guy's just like, yeah, it's a tough world out there. Dog eat dog world.
Pretty much, yeah. And then
And
he
Beckett's just like,
he
"I have a
disassembles
girl."
a giant rifle into its pistol form and throws it to Han, and that's the blaster. That's his blaster.
Wow, we know now.
Actually, I didn't hate that.
I mean, it's
That
not.
was fine. Yeah.
It's not terrible. It's like
Yeah.
it's not like Han Solo's running away from bad guys being shot at, and some like alien kid or just human kid's like, "Here you go, Mister. You might need this."
Throws him a vest.
Throws him the blaster.
Oh,
Thanks,
oh.
kid. It belonged to my dad. That's like something George Lucas would do, or it's just
That
like
is.
really bad.
Well, there's a deleted scene in Phantom Menace where young Han Solo and young Greedo are fighting, and Han Solo steals Greedo's vest. And like,
know
I'm
there's a
serious, that's real.
Yeah, I know there's young Greedos in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
They
Well,
pop up like
Greedos all look the same. Too.
Yeah.
That's so dumb. Anyway, so what happens after the train heist?
They get to I liked this scene. This
Oh,
is a
yeah,
scene
yeah,
that I
yeah.
liked. They get to Crimson Dawn. That's what they're called.
Yeah, that's what their gang
yeah,
thing's
the gang.
called.
They get to like
Yeah.
one of their tower outposts,
Yeah.
and I
Paul
kind of
Bettany's there.
I kind of liked the scenery for some reason of like this weird club.
I liked it
Of,
too.
like,
it's
high
not like
society.
yeah,
I
it's
thought
not
it was-
a rip off of the cantina,
Yeah,
but like there's a lot of new stuff in there. Apparently, there's a
there's like a lounge singer with like a it's
yeah,
like this avant-garde like
thing.
star with
Yeah.
like weird like this head in a jar singing. They're just like
There's a the golden idol from the beginning of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
that's in it.
Yeah,
That's an
it's
Easter
on
egg?
the shelf in the back,
Ah.
further confirming that those things are linked.
But-
Anyway, there's also an android with it's like from here up cut off. It's just flat, but it's
Really?
like, yeah, it's pretty. It's really good looking. Like I thought, it's just a very unique look for like a robot or an android or some servant to look like that. It's quite unnerving, but I liked it. It's kind of the Lobot thing. Anyway,
The reason I like this scene though, even though it's just kind of like exposition, is that it comes in at like the right time in the movie, and I like how he bumps into Kira there. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, the plot's thickening now.
Mhm.
Like she's not just like in Corellia still. Like she's actually gone out and like done things.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, like I liked that. That's when like I feel like, oh, this would make a good book. Get into everything.
Yeah, I part of me was like, oh, how convenient. Like that's nice. But then at the same time, like, is it really that much of a stretch that she would just go join a
out.
gang and
Yeah.
like smuggle things? Because like that's exactly what they were doing
Mm-hmm.
on Corellia. Now she's just doing it for one side. It's like a 50-50 shot, really.
Mm-hmm.
She's just with a gang, and she always has to be there probably because she's fucking branded. I actually liked Paul Bettany too, by the way.
He was
I
fine.
liked
I
him in
mean,
the role.
he wasn't in it much.
No, he wasn't.
But Kira, her character's fine. Like, there's the romance between them. Some people are like, "Oh, I don't buy their chemistry," and it's like, who cares about their chemistry? They're in love. That's it. They have a thing for each other. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, I'll say this: I didn't not buy it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not like it's fine. It's not Rachel McAdams and Ryan Gosling in The Notebook. It's fine.
I thought you were about to say it's not Rachel McAdams and Benedict Cumberbatch and Doctor Strange.
Yeah, the love those two shared on screen. My God.
I thought Emilia Clarke, I thought she was okay. I really don't think she's that great of an actress.
I don't like her.
Outside of Game of Thrones, I think that's why people love her, because she's synonymous with that character.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's the greatest actress.
Yeah, keep in mind I haven't seen Game of Thrones.
I've seen most of it, and she's fine in it.
I don't like her.
Everyone loves her character, but they could have gotten, like, who else could have played Kira? Olivia Munn? Nah.
Who else could have played Kira?
Yeah.
Rachel McAdams.
Exactly.
Nah, she's way too likable and
she would
hot.
have been great. Haley Steinfeld.
You know, Haley Steinfeld probably could have done it.
Yeah, see what I mean?
Yeah.
She
probably would have been better. In fact,
yeah.
I would say that she would have been better. She's a better actress than Emilia Clarke. There's no doubt.
Haley Steinfeld's great.
By the way, we need to talk about Bumblebee, but we'll talk about that later.
And how it looks surprisingly good.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll get into that. Looks like G1 Transformers.
So they team up. They make a deal with Paul Bettany, who was originally a Lion Man, played by dude from The Wire.
Michael K. Douglas. Yes.
Yeah, and they're just like
Catman. Yeah.
They're like they cut me out.
Yeah.
It's like I still got paid though. Oh well.
I mean, good on him, you know. I thought that Paul Bettany was pretty good in this. I liked his design. I enjoyed that he had like the scars on his face that got darker as he emoted. Thought that was kind of cool.
Really? They got darker? I didn't.
Yeah, they
I
did.
Didn't notice that.
They like intensified when he got intense. I enjoyed I felt like he did a very good job.
He did what needed to be done, essentially.
I liked his character quite a bit. I thought that he's an interesting, like, he's a crazy man, but like also he's not like he's trying to make a living and trying to do a job.
He's just some shitty galactic gangster running something called Crimson Dawn. And it's
that's never been brought up anywhere, I don't think.
No, it's like, is it a merger? Do they merge with the Empire? Is it just nothing?
I'm guessing it's just a gang.
Yeah,
it's a gang, pretty much, just a smuggling gang.
A wealthy gang, I guess.
Yep.
So they have to get something because it's valuable. So they team up.
Yeah, I enjoy the. It's not really a good enjoyment. I like the scene where Han Solo's talking, and they're like, "How can we get purified coaxium out of this?" And then he's like, "Why don't we just get the unpurified kind?" And it's like everyone's like, "That just might work." And
this isn't like their conference room. When they're talking.
Yeah, it's that interstellar moment where they're all like, "How do we get to the black hole?" And he's like, "Why don't we just go around the black hole?" And they're like, "Oh my God, you're right. We're all smart, but you cracked it, farmer man."
Just like all these minds, but we can't think of anything. But Han Solo.
Yeah, he has the answers for some reason, and Paul Bettany. I enjoy that he ends it, and he's like, "Well, this was fun. We should do this again sometime." Like, that's actually enjoyable and funny of him to say that, because he's a crazy man.
So,
anyway,
at this point in the movie, this is when it leads up to Lando.
Yes.
Played by...
Who was he played by again?
God. Donald Glover, of course. And he's okay. He's...
I feel like he did at first I was a little iffy on it, I won't lie. Talking to Alex, I didn't think he did a good job. But then I kind of came around to it the more I thought of it, because he's like, he is doing an impression, but how can't you? At that point, like, Han Solo isn't a very impressionable character, but Billy D as Lando is.
Yeah, because the way he talks.
Yes. And
he doesn't just mumble like Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he has a very distinct accent, and I thought that...
It's kind of similar to, like, Obi-Wan.
It is a little bit.
You know, kind of like that...
Glover's especially is. It's emulating that a little
bit. Like those, those, leading sentences, like, "Oh, hello. Do a Lando impression.
Oh, hello there. Well, what have we here? Kind of like that, you know? Yeah.
Like those like trailing way he speaks.
Yeah.
Donald, he was.
I thought he did as good a job as he could. I mean,
basically,
he was fine. You know, I liked him in it. I found him likable and funny. Yeah. That's
it's hard. It's kind of like he's playing Lando.
He's in it. Would you watch a Lando spinoff film?
No.
I would watch it because I have to for this podcast. I don't. Part of me wants to see it because I want to see him successful, but the other part wants me to get out of this era of Star Wars.
Yeah,
we've been in this pre episode 4, post episode 3, like limbo area for a very long time, and it seems like all of these spin-offs are touching on this, and it's like, just take the Last Jedi's advice, let the past die. Make some other shit.
It'd be cool if these spin-offs at least like tied in together, and it's like, oh, they're actually a trilogy. That would have been clever and unique. It would have took like time and planning, something that Lucasfilm.
It was always in the plan to just make these anthology movies.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that would be cool if by the second one you realize, oh, this ties in with Rogue One somehow.
They might still do it. I mean, Solo certainly leaves it open, but Rogue One's not going to connect to anything.
One thing
other than Episode 4, I guess.
One thing I don't like in Solo, I still don't know what the fuck the Kessel Run even was after watching it, because it's a throwaway line in the original Star Wars. The Kessel Run, that could be like anything. Yeah, but I guess it's like a mining planet.
Yeah, Kessel's a mining planet. Yeah, and we learned from Episode 4 that it's for spice, whatever spice is. And then
what is this, Dune?
Yeah. So, I actually like the Kessel Run. I understand it. I'm not really that familiar with what it is in the expanded universe or Legends. But I got it. There's a lot of weather up in the atmosphere around this planet, so they have to go through a certain like passageway. But it's a certain distance.
But it's being blocked by a Star Destroyer. So Han's like, why don't we go underneath?
Yeah, and then TIE fighters come out, and he's like, all right, well, we're going to do it. We're going to cut through.
I didn't like that sequence. I don't know why, but I just tuned out. I was like, just all right, let's wrap this up, people.
I actually kind of like the Kessel Run for
when they're in like space, not in the mines with the robots and everything. I mean like when they're in the Falcon.
I like that part more than I like the stuff on the ground. Because we'll talk about this with Lando too. L337, this new droid that is introduced. Arguably the worst droid to ever come out of Star Wars.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst characters ever. Played by Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who I feel bad for because I actually think she's pretty cool. Watching interviews and stuff, she seems really nice. It sucks that she had a terrible character.
It's just like very in your face.
Yeah.
Because everyone is like, oh, these Star Wars movies or SJW movies, blah 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 blah. And L3 is a pretty convincing it's like ammo.
People, yeah,
it's like ammo. It's like, oh, he just gave him fucking ammo.
Yeah, the most cringy line of all being what do you want? Equal rights.
God.
That's a very bad line. That's a bad line.
She's oddly sexualized too.
She is.
If you may have noticed,
she has very wide hips.
Yeah.
Yes. And talks about fucking Lando. Yeah. Somehow. So, I guess they've done it.
Yeah, that's what they imply, and it goes to the whole pansexual thing, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, look, Lando just really sleeps with anybody.
If that was intentional or not, but like sitting here and I'm like, oh, thanks Lucasfilm. I want to fuck this robot. Congratulations. This is what you're doing to the audience.
You know, I noticed the wide hips too, and I'm glad you noticed that too.
See what I mean?
Yeah, it is very. She's a very sexualized robot.
It's peculiar.
It is.
And I noticed that, and I was thinking of the pansexual thing, and I was like,
Well, because she sits down and has a line to Lando where she's like, oh, like my legs, I'm going to need you to do that thing later. And Lando's like, all right, yeah, like whatever, I got it.
And then
it's fine.
And then you get that terrible scene of like when they're like, "How does that work?" And L3's like, "Oh, it works," or something.
You didn't like that? I kind of enjoyed that line,
implying that they can like have sex, and then it cuts to Emilia Clarke, and she's like,
I didn't get that impression. I did not get that impression that she tee-hee-heed.
She like
I actually
smiles.
like that they just acknowledge that humans can bang robots in this universe. It's kind of funny to me, anyway. Anyway, the stuff on the ground I couldn't really care less for. Didn't really care. It was espionage heisty.
You didn't care about Clint Howard? Or wait, I don't think he was in that
Clint
scene.
Howard was in the scene where L3's
is introduced.
Punching. Yeah, she has her hands on Clint Howard. That's fun.
I was like, oh well, we know this is directed by Ron Howard.
Yeah,
this is definitely a reshoot.
Yeah.
Can I bring my brother Clint in?
We didn't even talk about this. What did you think about the original Sabacc scene?
Huh?
The Sabacc, the poker, space poker is Sabacc.
It's a cool little like introduction. Okay, like they're talking back and forth, just like ooh ah.
Yeah. The Weekly Planet podcast made a note of this. I like that they don't explain the rules to it.
Yeah, they don't. It's just kind of like
I enjoy that you just figure it out. Yeah, and even Lando has a throwaway line where he's like, "You have a great you have a bad Sabacc face." I'm like, okay, it's poker essentially. Yes, I get this.
I don't know why, but I liked the scene where Han's just like, "Hey, keep your eyes off my card, all of them." It's like an alien with like 10 eyes. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
It's a cheesy line, but it works.
I don't know why, but in like these PG-13 movies, like corny, like harmless jokes like that, I kind of love them for some reason.
That's sort of a timeless joke. That's something that would be in episode 4.
Yeah,
like. You know what I mean? Like it's not 2018 humor. That's a really old, funny joke.
Exactly. I love harmless humor.
Yeah. This felt clumsily made at times. You know what I mean? But like I found it charming, but obviously it's not meant to be like that. But I found it a little charming. Just some of the shots were like, oh my god, this doesn't look good. But there are also shots in episode 4 that don't look good.
Yeah, the cinematography of this movie.
It's not the best.
It's very blurry. It looks like it's almost shot out of focus, and it's very like smoggy at times, and it's not a good looking movie at all. And I wonder if it's because they're rushing to reshoot everything.
I do wonder that too,
because they shot the movie once and they're like, "Fuck it."
I like that. So this is a personal like of mine. I enjoy that going into the Kessel Run. The Millennium Falcon looks shiny, beautiful. Lando's altered it a little bit, put the escape pod at the front like that.
That was something that Red Letter Media was talking about. I don't know all these specifics, like minute details about like ships and stuff.
That fork that is always there is for like cargo and stuff. There's not a thing that goes in it. Lando modified it and put an escape pod there because he's not using it for that shit, I guess. He's not using it for smuggling anymore. Because he used to be a smuggler. He's a little bit older than Han.
Why is this such an important detail that needs to go into this movie?
I find it fun. I found that fun. But I like that going into the Kessel Run, that ship looks beautiful. Coming out of it, it looks exactly like Episode 4's Millennium Falcon.
Really?
Great. I love that.
I didn't even notice.
I love that. Now it gives context to the Kessel Run line later, where he's like, "This is the ship that did the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs." You know, like it also destroyed that ship, and that's the part that he leaves out.
He leaves out that Han's ship.
I guess, but like it also totally wrecked it. Like it looks awful now, and he hasn't fixed it in 10 years. Added to the character, and I like that. I like that a lot. That's probably my favorite thing in the movie. That it goes into the Kessel Run looking so sleek and comes out looking absolutely shitty, like the original. Great. Great addition to the movie.
After the whole Kessel Run thing and they get to like the beachy planet or whatever, that's when I was kind of like, all right.
Well, it's kind of weird because the Kessel Run's the climax.
Yeah, but there's still like 30 minutes.
Again.
Yeah, there's like still 30 minutes of the movie left, and it's kind of like, all right, let's wrap this up, people. You have the Marauders or whatever they're called.
Enfys Nest.
Sure.
Yeah. That's what it's called. I know.
And she like takes off her helmet. It's just like some 13-year-old girl, and I was like, oh my god. All right, not 13, but like some young girl.
Yeah, I didn't mind that stuff. It was kind of...
It was corny. It felt like
yeah.
it was like Kathleen Kennedy again.
Warwick Davis was in it again.
Yeah,
reprising his role.
And what?
He was in Phantom Menace. Or maybe Attack of the Clones. Something. He was...
Not in a costume or anything?
Not in costume. He played He played like himself. He's not Wicket.
Obviously.
Yes. Not reprising his role from Phantom Menace or something. I can't remember who he played. But now he's a smuggler or gang member, I guess.
I don't know why. Like, I don't like the moment when they take off the helmet. It felt very eye-rolly. Just like, yeah, I'm a girl.
Yeah, I would agree.
You thought I was a man the whole time? Why?
I honestly thought it was a girl the whole time, but I thought it was like an older woman. That's how I interpreted it. Maybe I'm crazy.
I didn't care who was under the helmet to begin with.
Yeah, fair enough. It should have been like Boba Fett or something cool. Like,
he takes off the helmet and it's Boba Fett's helmet underneath.
That would be amazing, though. That'd be great. They should have just replaced Enfys Nest with the Mandalorians and made Boba Fett the leader of them. That would have been cool. Like, that would have been at least semi-interesting.
Have Boba Fett be in the Han Solo movie, but then it's like, oh, in Return of the Jedi, it didn't seem like Solo knew who Boba Fett was.
No, he totally knew
who
Boba Fett was. Yeah.
Oh.
Someone says, Boba Fett, and then he goes, Boba Fett? Where? Slams into him and murders him with his own jetpack, anyway.
Why do people love Boba Fett so much?
Because he looks cool. He sold toys.
Yeah, and that's it.
His first appearance was in the holiday special. That's real. He's a cartoon. I quite enjoy this final showdown between Dryden Voss, who is Paul Bettany, Beckett, Kira, and Han.
Yeah,
and Chewie.
Paul Bettany. He does not leave that room.
No, he doesn't.
Movie.
No, he doesn't.
You don't see him outside of that set.
He's too... well, it's very clearly reshot, but whatever. I like that a bit. I find that charming that he doesn't leave that room, but whatever. I really liked this showdown when it turns out that he actually did bring the coaxium into that room.
He's like,
I find that funny.
So wait, what happens to getting exactly? He's like, I didn't actually bring it. And he's like,
well, he brings it and he's pretending that it's real, knowing that somebody had betrayed him, knowing that Beckett or somebody was behind it. I guess he doesn't know that.
Smuggling him the whole time.
Yeah. So he goes in and he's pretending it's real. Okay. Dryden Voss sees through that no one who's sane would ever bring that in there, especially when he knows that Han's betraying him. So he immediately assumes it's fake. And then the realization that it's actually... Han is really stupid enough to bring that into that room. And, like, it could kill them all, too. Like...
It's highly unstable.
Yeah, like...
Shoot it with your blaster, the whole planet goes.
Exactly. And, like, that's a really bad plan, but I found it charming because, like, it's Han Solo. So, like, it makes sense. He doesn't have good plans. This is the best one he could come up with. I enjoyed that. I like that it just... The realization that it's actually the real shit that they smuggled, and it turns them all against each other. Good.
And
liked it.
Kira kills Paul Bettany.
Yep.
And, you know, it's like, I was expecting him to get, like, injured and, like, turn into Snoke. He looks like Snoke. He does.
Yeah. He's a big forehead.
Yeah, he has, like, the scarry face and everything. You know, when it gets down to the end and Han shoots first, that didn't even register with me. Just like, he shot first.
I just, I didn't interpret it as like Han shot first. I interpreted it as like he didn't give him the chance to betray him again. He just did it. He just killed somebody in cold blood, basically.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I guess that is the same thing. Yeah.
Like I wasn't sitting there and I didn't start clapping and I was like, "You're damn right, Han shoots first. Fuck you, special editions."
Yeah.
It wasn't until afterwards I was, you know, watching some of the reviews and they're like, "Oh, he shoots first," and I was like, "Oh, is that fan service done right?"
Yeah,
because it didn't register with me. Where I was like, "Yes,
that is fan service done right," because it's subtle.
Yeah, because I wasn't even paying attention. I was like, "Oh, he shot him." I wasn't thinking first.
Yeah,
first.
Yeah, I like that it kind of, that's his development. He wouldn't have done that at the beginning of the movie, but after all, he listened to what Beckett said, didn't trust him, killed him. Great. Also, he low-key funds the rebellion in this movie.
Oh,
Giving the coaxium to Enfys Nest. Enfys Nest makes it very clear they're like, we're starting a rebellion.
Yeah, they did bring that up.
And it's like, okay, Han Solo's not a hero, but god damn it, he ended up funding the fucking rebellion. The one that he ends up being a captain in later. It's like, that's just, there's too many coincidences there. I'm sorry. Like, that's dumb. Should have been the Mandalorians. They would have never started a rebellion. He would have just murdered them all, except for Boba Fett. There you go. There's the Boba Fett shit. He killed their family. Anyway, so they win. The good guys win. Turns out Emilia Clarke inherits Darth Maul's criminal empire.
Yeah, they've been in cahoots with each other the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's the one who took her out of Corellia?
No. I got it. I understood that she did not know who Darth Maul was. She didn't know who Paul Bettany was serving.
So that was their first time talking?
Yes.
I don't remember what they were even talking about because I was just distracted.
By the fact that it's Darth Maul.
Yeah, like
Did you see that coming at all? That's pretty insane. That's a pretty big twist.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, when there was the hologram, though, you are thinking, okay, who is
the
this?
Emperor? Like it
has to be someone.
Yeah,
it's Luke.
That'd be amazing.
It's Hayden.
It's Big Luke. You ever heard that rumor?
Big Luke?
Yeah, Big Luke. You should look that up. The Big Luke theory. It's that there's two different Luke Skywalkers.
Ew. Coexisting.
And the one that he murders in the cave on Dagobah was real. It's not metaphorical. He really murders bigger Luke, dressed up as Darth Vader. It's a bad theory.
Yeah.
it's amusing to read just because someone put so much detail into it and like why it would make sense, but like it doesn't make sense. It's not what it intended to do.
I feel like they're teasing some movie that's not gonna get made.
I feel like they were teasing the Obi-Wan movie. But the problem with it is that, as so many have pointed out, and Obi-Wan kills Darth Maul in canon.
Yeah,
he already did it in Rebels.
So it'd be weird.
That would be great.
It'd be weird to adapt that.
That's the only way that I could see it happening is just adapting that, and I wouldn't hate that. But it's such a bummer that they covered it in Rebels and they covered it really well.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, well, I don't really care that it happened there because I'd rather see it on the big screen.
Yeah, and like when it came out on Rebels and it happened, I really liked it, and I do still like that fight. It's really good if you ever get a chance. It's very well written. Their choreography, Obi-Wan baits Darth Maul into doing the same thing that Qui-Gon died from. He baits him into it with like motions from the Phantom Menace, like they do the same movements and stuff, and then Obi-Wan sees it coming and slashes him in the chest because Darth Maul is too ignorant to think that he could learn from his mistakes. So he ends up just, his own pride kills him. It's a good death. It's a genuinely well done death. I wouldn't mind seeing it adapted, but it's a real bummer that Rebels covered it so well because this movie would be so cool to see. I don't know.
That sounds like the perfect Obi-Wan standalone. Him and Darth Maul.
It gives the movie a little bit of a purpose. Like it gives some closure. I hope they adapt it. I just hope they do it and maybe pretend that Rebels is like a stylized version of it, and they just do that episode of the Rebels show, but they expand on it, make it a little bit better. Maybe remove the Rebels characters from it because they're not that great, but. Whatever. They can do whatever they want, but it would be so perfect.
Can Freddie Prinze be in it reprising his role in live action?
Freddie Prinze?
Yeah, Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Does like the voice in Rebels, right?
No.
Yeah, he does.
Of Darth Maul?
No. Just like some character in it.
Oh. Is that really Freddie Prinze?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Have him reprise the role as a teenage boy or something.
Any final thoughts?
Sam Witwer also voiced Darth Maul in the movie, and he voices him in the cartoon.
You voiced him in
It's
Solo?
Ray Park. Yeah, it's Ray Park, like in the makeup and stuff. It's original Darth Maul, but instead of what's it? Who's the guy that plays the Tick? He's in a. It's not Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, I was about to say
it's
the guy
not
who voices Joe and
no,
Family
no,
Guy.
No. The new tick.
Wait, so they used his face but not his voice?
Yes,
like
they dubbed him over
like-
with Sam Witwer, who
like-
voices Darth Maul.
It's like Abe Sapien.
It is, but they did that in the original too. 'Cause,
Really?
Yeah, who
'Cause he
plays
has
him?
some stunt guy who does his
No,
own...
it's Ray Park. It's Ray Park under the makeup, but it's not his voice.
Okay.
They dub him with hold on.
Carrot Top?
No, it's not Carrot Top. Voice Phantom Menace. Hold on.
Anyone notable? Or
It is someone notable. It's Peter Serafinowicz.
Who's that?
He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He's in John Wick Chapter 2. He's in his own comedy special. He's in The Tick Amazon series.
Okay.
He's a funny actor. I think he's quite funny. Yeah. Anyway, so they leave off on that cliffhanger. That's cool and all. So yeah.
Yeah, so Solo ends. Chewie and Han, they get the Millennium Falcon because they have a few tricks up their sleeves. Or they take Lando's cards that he hides up his sleeves.
They take Lando's cards and don't let him cheat, so they beat him.
And
I actually like that
Lando
scene.
knows, but he's not going to reveal himself
Mhm.
to be a cheater. So he's basically, he has to screw the pooch and give them the Millennium Falcon. Chewie and Han are like, all right, time to go smuggle.
Yeah, I
in movie.
I like that final Sabacc scene.
Yeah.
I actually like that. Lando's wearing a pretty cool shirt.
Yeah, they're on like a tropical island.
Yeah.
Tropical planet.
I enjoy it. It looked very like iconic. The whole thing looked iconic to me. I thought that it was when Alden looked the most like Han Solo too. He looked the most like Harrison Ford there in that lighting. Maybe it was on purpose, just because it all comes full circle. But I'm guessing that's the last time he sees Lando until Empire.
Probably.
Which it makes sense. It gives context to their meeting. You know, it's Lando knows he cheated, so he's not angry at Han, and also he straight up abandoned them. So he's a little apologetic for it, but also he doesn't really trust Han. Makes sense.
Star Wars.
Yeah, I know. All right.
I found Solo to be a bit of an exhausting movie, and by the end, I was just kind of glad that it was over. But I didn't hate it. But you know,
I liked it.
Do you ever get that with movies? Like, it's kind of exhausting, especially with a lot of these modern blockbuster ones.
Yeah, I feel like the more I've talked about it, the more I actually like this movie, but not enough to give it like an 8 out of 10. It's still a 7 out of 10. But there are parts that I actually really do love in this movie.
Yeah.
Cool. I just don't like
But
that he has the dice already.
It's nothing fantastic. It's nothing fantastic though. It's nothing
No,
that anyone's really that thrilled with. And boy, Jacob, did this movie fly?
Yeah, it did.
Embarrassingly too. Didn't even crack 100 million. It made less than Justice League. That's
it's a very
If you look at the numbers compared to what Rogue One is doing domestically, side by side, Rogue One fucking trampled that movie.
It's true. Is that Star Wars' fault for doing two movies in the same, basically less than a year apart? They are less than a year apart. And
they should have
and
stuck
also
to
with
December.
Infinity War and stuff like that. December is Star Wars month now. People look for stuff like that. That's new.
Marketing too, though. Force Awakens, Rogue One, and Last Jedi. Their marketing had one thing in common, and it's that they made these movies epic, epic events. Especially Rogue One with the
Yeah.
You know,
I do know what
epic
you're talking
war
about.
movie. Last Jedi, Luke is the Jedi has to end. They made him look epic.
Mhm.
This one, it kind of just had some
It looked like a
jangly,
fun movie. Yeah.
It had jangly just kind of oh. It didn't make it look epic.
You're right.
So no one went to go see it, and yeah, like you said, it had competition too.
It would have made more money in December. I
Mhm.
think Infinity War came out way too close to this. People are burnt out. Deadpool 2, yeah,
came out the week before.
Yep.
And
there's too many movies coming out right now for this to compete at all.
Generally, there wasn't that much interest at all in it. There's bad publicity. Not that general audiences are following up to it, but they still have access to it. They wanted to know.
Yeah,
they could
right.
find out about it. So Bad Publicity came out only 5 months after the previous Star Wars movie, which a lot of fans did not care for.
I don't see that actually as a factor at all. Not really.
It's a factor, but maybe not a major one when it comes to the general audience.
Look at the audience score. Like for Last Jedi, well, now it's been tanked by fanboys who go on and do accounts. But like the cinema score, people walking right out, it has an A. Like that, people liked that movie. The general audience loved The Last Jedi. Fans didn't.
Yeah.
Like, and that's quite the divide. And like it or not, there's more general audience than there are fans. A lot more. It's audience significantly bigger.
Are the fans?
You're right. I mean, you know what I mean. But like,
Star Wars is not in a hot spot right now.
It's not among the fans, but I just think that nobody knew this movie was coming out. They saved a lot of money on advertising.
By not
advertising it. You didn't see that many trailers for it. You didn't really hear that a new Star Wars movie was coming out. Yeah. I think people didn't know what this was. Like,
except for like us.
Yeah, people who were going to go see it. And like even then, it's been a divisive-ish movie among the fans. I think most fans have liked this.
I feel like they're all kind of just like, it's okay, but it's not what they want.
Yeah. But Star Wars fans don't know what they want. Nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans.
Maybe Disney buying Lucasfilm and trying to bring back Star Wars. Maybe it just wasn't that great of an idea.
Well, you say that, but have you read George Lucas's thing that he said this last week about what his sequel trilogy would have been?
Outlandish.
Guess what he said it would have been.
Isn't it like Luke in his having like a school training Jedi?
No, he would have done the same thing that Rian Johnson did as far as Luke goes. Having him be a disgraced Jedi. Yeah, he would have been the same. I believe that's right. That's already been a concept. He's already he's an old hermit.
I don't think he would have. He wouldn't. George Lucas wouldn't have made them though. He was too old.
I mean, he said in an interview recently, like over the past week, that he would have made them. They would have gotten made. I don't know. He said that, quote unquote, they would delve into the microscopic world. Midi-chlorians, the wills, people like why the Force goes to certain people. Blah,
what is
blah,
this,
blah, blah,
Ant-Man, the microscopic
It sounds
world?
bad. It sounds bad. And a lot of people are just like, oh, so there was never hope anyway. Great. There's hope. It's these movies are not that bad. The Last Jedi is fine. I like it. I like it quite a bit. I enjoy it. I think it'll age well.
Star Wars.
Yeah. Anyway, you want to talk about something else?
Yes.
Let's talk about
a little movie called Upgrade for a little bit.
Yes.
So Upgrade kind of came and went, kind of had some trailers out. Trailers looked cool.
Yeah.
They're an accurate depiction of what the movie is.
Absolutely. Did not mislead you.
It's Blumhouse, right? Was this Blumhouse? Yes, it was.
Yeah, it was Blumhouse. It wasn't Blumhouse Tilt.
No.
But it was just regular Blumhouse.
Just regular BH.
Mm-hmm.
It's directed by Lee Winnell, who you might not know his name, but you've seen his movies that he's helped make. And in fact, he actually is in an iconic horror film. He's the co-star of Saw, of the very first Saw movie. Yeah. He's the other guy with Carrie Elways. And he also co-wrote it with James Wan.
Yep. And James Gunn, too.
James
Spiritually,
Gunn. Yeah. They swapped notes while he was doing the Scooby-Doo movies. But Lee Winnell, so if you've seen the first Saw movie, which is a fairly popular horror movie, that's him.
Nice.
He works on Insidious. He might have worked on The Conjuring. Him and James Wan, good old Australian guys.
Yep.
He directed Insidious 3, which I haven't seen. You can't pay me to watch those Insidious movies.
They're not that bad. They're okay. They're schlock, but it's fun.
I've seen the first one. I don't remember it.
I mean, it was a while ago. I actually like the first one. It's pretty okay. The first two I saw in theaters, and I liked them.
Were they scary?
I thought they were. I thought they were fun and scary. I was playing baseball at the time, and go with the team to play or to watch some just a scary movie, and it's fun.
Sounds like a good time.
It was. I mean, like, they're very schlocky films, but I don't have any. It's not the other movie that we're talking about in this podcast, but it's still fun.
Yeah. Anyways, Upgrade. Essentially, at Upgrade's core, it's a B movie.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it's better than it has any right to be, as far as like directing and acting, and some cool, like, awesome action sequences that are pretty unique.
Yeah.
Like the way that it like fixes on the main character and the way he moves, like everything else is moving behind him. That was kind of unique and cool.
It's good visual storytelling as far as the fighting goes. The action's great. It's really gory in places.
Yes.
And, like, well done.
Yeah, like, practical, too.
Yes, looked really good.
Because Lee Winnell, he's like, I did work on Saw, so fuck CGI blood.
Exactly.
Basically, it's it's like a B movie that's better than it has any right or reason to be.
Yeah.
And you really liked this one, too.
I really liked it, yeah. I had a really good time with this.
I enjoyed it. It's a nice little watch. If you don't know the plot, it's basically a revenge story. Guy's wife gets murdered. He's left paralyzed. A scientist or inventor, genius that he has connections to, gives him a chip that can fix him. Kind of like $6 billion man.
Mm-hmm.
We can rebuild him, make him better. And then he's out for revenge. Him and his AI partner.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the movie.
Yeah, he gets his revenge, and it goes at a good pace. It's a solid sci-fi movie too.
It is. It's got a good ending too. Like
the ending made everything worth it.
It did,
because it kind of explained everything. Because the whole time you're wondering, you're like, wait, why did this guy even get attacked? Him and his wife.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering that. Because it kind of just happens.
You're right, yeah. I mean, it does just happen, and it's not really explained either until the very end. Like,
yeah, and
it's all...
Like, oh.
Yeah, and it makes a lot of sense, too. We'll get into this in spoilers, but there's a detail that I especially liked that I asked myself this, like, logical question during it. I asked what kind of guy what inventor guy like that's extremely eccentric and, like, a bit of an introvert.
Yeah,
I think
weirdo.
Why would he have a muscle car that he would be fixing up? The truth is that he didn't. Is
that why they go to meet him in the first place at the beginning of the movie?
Yeah, he fixes up a car for him.
Okay, I was wondering that detail because like that's why I was like they have connections.
Yeah, he fixes a car for him and drops it off, so his wife follows him there. And
yeah, that's right, because she has an automated car, and Logan Marshall Green's like, I like working with my hands.
Yeah, which
he's like fuck technology.
Yeah, I kind of buy it though. Like some people would embrace that kind of technology, and some people would still want to drive their own cars. It totally makes sense. Get it?
This movie is it's low budget, but it doesn't feel cheap, except for maybe just a few times. There's a few times.
It feels cheap in the best ways. The gore feels cheap, but like also it's very effective.
You get one shot of like the sci-fi world.
Yeah.
And like that's kind of it. But even then it's like okay, they have like these interesting buildings. So it sets up like a futuristic world. It's not Blade Runner or anything, but
I found it could have probably been in the Blade Runner universe and we just didn't know it. Although we'll say this, it was very obviously LA where they were.
Really?
Yeah, especially seeing it in Los Angeles.
But this future is it's portrayed as it's not like dystopian or anything. It's just the world that we live in. It's good and bad.
Yeah, I kind of got that too. I like the it shows like downtown LA. You can see like some buildings that are actually there, a couple buildings that really aren't. You know, they're just there. It's a nice mix of this is probably a real shot that they just like CGI'd some buildings into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look nice. I didn't see it in Los Angeles, by the way. I saw it in Universal Studios Hollywood, along the City Walk.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm big news now. All right, big boy.
Was Logan Marshall Green there?
Yes, he was there.
Were you like, wow, I hated you in Prometheus, but you weren't. But you're okay in Upgrade.
I loved you in Spider-Man Homecoming as the Shocker.
You were terrible.
You were
in
the
Devil.
second best Shocker. Was he in Devil?
Yeah, I believe he was.
Is he the guy that ends up living?
I think he is kind of the main guy.
Yeah, because he says sorry or something.
Something. Anyways,
Yeah.
Logan Marshall Green. He's pretty decent in this movie.
He's good in it.
There's something about him, like his face. I just remember him from Prometheus and just not liking him in that movie.
He looks so much like Tom Hardy. It is not even funny. His acting was very good, except for one part when it was very bad. It's when he's being interrogated in the bathroom at the bar, and he's mocking his interrogators from his wheelchair, and his acting is awful in that scene. Yeah, it is so bad. It took me out of the movie a little bit, and but then like other than that, he was excellent. It was very weird that he was so good in every other scene.
I know the scene you're talking about. I want to rewatch that scene now.
He just comes across as like
what he's
just being an asshole, and he's not good at it. Like he's supposed to be this hardened guy, you know, who's like lost everything, but now he's joking around and being playful with you and whatever. And I don't buy it, and I don't think he did either. It was questionable. Maybe it was just my imagination, but I felt like it was pretty bad right there. But every other scene, he was, I thought, really great.
One thing that I didn't like about this movie is I didn't like the actor who played the guy who invented STEM.
I found him...
It's like, why is he so young? You know, like, I was like, this is the type of role that you cast, like, a veteran actor in.
Yeah, but it's low budget. You can't do that.
I don't know, dude. You can always get a veteran actor for a low-budget movie. Donald Pleasance, Halloween.
Yeah, you're right.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a famous person, but just, like, an actor. Like a Powers Booth. All right, maybe not Powers Booth.
Is Powers Booth dead?
Yeah.
He died a couple years ago, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
But it was just weird. It was just kind of like this, like
you
I
know,
feel like they could have casted someone different.
I would say that his character bothered me somewhat until the reveal. Then I was like, okay, I like that. I like that quite a bit. It kind of explains why he was acting that way too.
They should have got Dane DeHaan.
God, he's so similar to Dane DeHaan.
You see what I mean? Like that's what I thought. I was like, if this was like a higher budget movie, they'd get like Dane DeHaan, Tom Hardy.
He probably would play that well though. Dane DeHaan's not a bad actor. He's actually fairly good. I like him.
He's an unappealing actor though.
Yeah, he is. He plays a good shitty guy.
He plays a good unappealing person.
Yeah. I mean, look at him in Chronicle. Like, he's not likable at all in that movie. He's unlikable.
By the way, Valerian is on Amazon Prime. I'm tempted to like put it on.
You should. I would ask you nicely to do that, please, because like, just watch it and just understand how incoherent that film is. Alex and I were just, oh my god, we were so lost.
I'll put it on tonight. I'm not gonna like focus on it.
No, you should focus on it.
Folks, damn it.
Yes.
I can't like have like my laptop open and just like.
No, because I promise, if you have your laptop open, you'll be like, okay, I'm lost, but I haven't been paying attention, so that's why. No, you need to understand, you're going to be lost no matter what happens in this film. Like, no matter what happens in the background, whatever, if you focus with razor sharp focus, you'll still be lost. At least I was.
We'll tune in for the 1 year anniversary of Valerian. 1 year later.
Yeah, right.
Is there anything else you want to discuss about Upgrade? We both liked it. We both recommend it. Maybe, I guess, go ahead and see it in the theaters, but you can also kind of like wait it out.
Yeah, you can.
It's a movie that you'd probably get the same enjoyment seeing it at home.
Yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
I give it like a 7 to 7.5. On my Letterboxd, I have all my movies organized, and Upgrade is one of the higher ones.
Okay.
Just liked it. Not a phenomenal movie, but a solid one.
Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
I feel like some people are going to hate the ending, but I loved the ending.
I did too. Spoilers, I think that we're getting into spoilers now a little bit. We'll touch on it. I really think it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, the whole movie work.
Yeah, like it's not shoehorned in. There was nothing that I didn't get. Everything makes sense.
It's even a little cerebral. Is that the right word?
surreal or
cerebral.
Yeah, I know what you said. I don't know what you're going for. Cerebral? What do you mean?
Like, isn't that it's kind of a hard word to define. Cerebral. Like a lot of science fiction is cerebral.
I'm
With
sure
like the
that there's
mind
meaning
and
to it.
stuff.
Oh well, yeah, I guess it
Kind
is
of.
a little bit of a yeah.
Let's just say it's
I
the
enjoyed
scene
it.
where he's like he wakes up and like his wife is with him.
Yeah, I like that, and then it cuts back to STEM,
Yeah,
and he has a very good line. He's like, he just explains it like it is. He's like, yeah, well, I told him not to break his mind. He did it. Now I'm here.
he's like,
I'm gonna kill you now. All right. Like that's kind of how it goes. He's just like he like told him not to do that. He did it. Now I'm here. Okay. Like good. He's a robot. Like that's how he would think.
basically, this is. Should we just get into it?
Yeah.
The nitty gritty. Skip to the next timestamp.
Yeah.
Basically, the whole purpose of this movie is that the AI is just trying to get a human host, and that's why everything happened. Because he picked out Logan Marshall Green because he was like, "Huh, this guy doesn't even use technology."
Exactly. Yeah. I
He's
mean
like,
that really is the reason.
Yeah, and everything played into events.
Yep.
So
So
he
he
got
makes
paralyzed.
Yeah. So he makes Dane DeHaan. He's not Dane DeHaan, but we're gonna talk about him like he is.
Yeah, he makes him like
Makes him go get a muscle car fixed from this guy, giving him reason to go over and whatever, sow the seeds of, this is a stem, it could fix everything.
yeah,
And then he
gets paralyzed in the neck purposely.
Yep.
His wife being murdered was just for the fuck of it, apparently.
Well,
or
it
was that a
was-
lie?
No, his wife was murdered. They murdered his wife so that it would send Logan Marshall Green on like a killing spree, basically, and it would all wind up. Stem knew that it would all wind up going back to Dane DeHaan, so he would end up killing Dane DeHaan. But along the way, he had to free himself of the programming. So he set that up nicely by, I guess, just pretty much fighting it off, the whole time.
Stem
is the AI,
yeah.
I don't know, I liked it. And I like in the ending, just, it kind of all just makes sense.
Yeah, it came together and it felt like an ending.
Yeah, it did. And it's like, okay, well, I guess this AI is just roaming the world now. It's fine. He's like, he's been running the company. The AI has been. Like, I enjoy that. That's pretty cool. Like, that's good sci-fi.
I love the part where the scientist guy is just like, Stem talk to you?
Yeah.
I love that moment because it's like a revelation and it's kind of creepy.
It is.
It's like he doesn't even realize how powerful it is. It's like he's like, it wasn't meant to talk to you.
Yeah, it turns out he's just lying. Stem's been in his head too.
Oh yeah.
But it's still a good moment. I enjoy Stem's intro too. When he's just like, if I may make a suggestion out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my god. Like, yeah, that would freak you the fuck out, wouldn't it?
I like how when it shows Stem being implanted, it's like a little bug that like moves onto it.
Yeah. It was gross and weird.
This also features one of my favorite tables in a movie.
Oh, the cell phone table.
Yeah, it's so unnecessary, and it's like, oh, a sci-fi world. You can read text messages through your glass table. It's like, why would you need that?
You wouldn't.
Yeah,
but it's fun
funny
to put in this movie though.
So yeah, upgrade. Give it a watch. Wait for like Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Go see it in a theater. Go see it on the biggest screen you can find. But,
Summer movie Smackdown.
Yeah.
So I guess I can briefly bring up these other two films that I checked out.
Yeah.
First one, I'll get through it briefly. First, Reformed.
Okay.
It's the best movie I've seen all year. It's
all right.
Absolutely amazing.
I have never heard of this movie.
I went into it blind. All I knew is that it was getting good buzz, has Ethan Hawke, and it's directed and written by Paul Schrader, Taxi Driver, Raging Bull.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing, dark fucking movie.
Nice.
It's about this like conflicted priest played by Ethan Hawke, who is amazing in this.
Yeah.
He should be getting nominated for Best Actor. Like, he's phenomenal in it. this conflicted priest who works at he's the lonely reverend of First Reformed, a historical, kind of more of like a tourist church that's been around for like 250 years. And he gets like involved with this husband and wife. The husband is this disturbed environmental protester guy, and just like it's hard to explain because it's a drama, you know?
Yeah.
But it's also a very dark, kind of existential, spiritual movie. Even though it's about like churches and stuff, it's not a Christian movie. It's very dark, depressing, has to deal with like despair. Has Amanda Seyfried in it. It has Cedric the Entertainer in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He plays like the head minister or reverend of a church called Abundant, which is like one of those mega churches, like huge, like seats like hundreds, maybe 1,000 people.
Yeah.
He's in it. Not going as Cedric the Entertainer though. I think it's just his name because it's not a comedic role.
Yeah. Well, he's good in it though, right?
Yeah,
That's
he's
awesome.
good.
Good for him.
It's very similar to Taxi Driver.
Okay, so you're a fan.
Yes, because the priest, he's writing in a notebook, and it's narrated.
Mm-hmm.
So very much like that. There's even a few nods to it.
Really?
Like, yeah, because the priest, he's like an alcoholic. He's always drinking whiskey at night, and he's having this stomach issue, and he pours Pepto-Bismol into his liquor, and it zooms in slowly on it bubbling, straight out of Taxi Driver.
Nice.
But this is like, we're about to get into Hereditary, which is like, the scariest movie of the year. First Reformed was a fucked up movie. Like, there's some things that happen in the end that are just like, I don't know. I was like squirming in my seat.
Where did you watch this?
At AMC.
Really?
Yeah.
I have heard nothing about this movie.
I went in blind. I'm glad that I did. Only nitpick that I have with it is that it's shot in 4:3.
Oh.
And I'm kind of getting tired of the aspect ratio gimmick,
Yeah. What was it? Budapest Hotel.
Yeah, that does it. This movie,
Ghost.
This movie, this film called Mommy.
Is it Ghost Story?
Yeah, Ghost Story, not Ghost. Yeah, the Patrick Swayze movie. It's shot in like a tiny cube. Most of the screen is black. But yeah, First Reformed, it's shot in 4:3, and it's not distracting, but after I left, I was like, why? Why? Like, it could have just been a full widescreen movie. But yeah, great movie. Best movie I've seen all year. I give it a 9 out of 10. Just a fantastic movie. It's A24, so if you're not going to check it out in theaters, it'll be on Amazon Prime. Just be prepared, because it's a dark movie. And not Zack Snyder dark, like thematically dark.
Nice.
So yeah, really loved it. Thought it was great. Great
Sweet.
movie.
What's the other one that you checked out too?
I'm not done with First Reformed.
Fucking A, mate.
I was going to say it barely has any music in it at all, but then when sound does come in, it's like haunting, and I loved it. Anyways,
right.
Other movie, The Incredibles 2.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was fine. Nothing special, nothing bad. Give it like a 7 out of 10.
Did it live up to the first?
I wouldn't say that it's better. It's all right. Well, what are we going to compare this to? Like Finding Nemo and Finding Dory, two beloved Pixar movies. They have a sequel come out like 20 years later. Finding Dory was shit.
Yeah, I did not
care for that at all. Incredibles 2 is fine. It's a fine, decent movie. It plays very well with families, I feel like. If you and like your kids were to go see a movie, this is like the perfect movie to see.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna like make adults like want to die. But it's fine. It's a fine, decent Pixar movie, but Pixar can make better sequels and better movies. Like,
I mean, look at Toy Story.
Yeah, exactly.
And like they get better with each one.
Mm-hmm. And this one, it's not as memorable. I haven't seen the first Incredibles in maybe like 10 years, but I still remember a lot of stuff about that movie.
Mm-hmm.
And this one, by the end of it, like, how does the first Incredibles end, Jacob?
Do you remember? On the Underminers.
Well, I mean before that.
What?
Like the big droid robot going through the city,
yeah.
Just like memorable things like that. In this movie, it doesn't. By the time it ends, it's kind of like, oh, that's it.
Well, that sucks.
I mean, it's good though, but it's not like best animated movie of the year, but it's good. I liked all the characters. Well, obviously, because we've already seen them before, but the characters, like, their dynamics are always good. Except for Dash. He's just a little dick in this movie.
Really?
And he does absolutely nothing. Like, in the first Incredibles, he's the annoying little brother, but, like, he's annoyed because, like, he wants to play sports and he wants to be able to use his, like, his powers.
Yeah.
In this movie, he's more just toned back to just being, like, Dennis the Menace.
Interesting. Well, they did have to get a different voice actor for him too.
I was wondering about that.
The voice actor for Dash in the first one was a kid.
What? Yeah.
Yeah.
So they couldn't bring him back, so they had to get a voice actor in to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So there's been this meme that's come about a meme regarding Elastigirl.
The prophecy's been told.
Yeah. Have you heard about this at all?
No.
It's basically just people our age admitting online that they want to fuck Elastigirl.
She's hot.
She is hot.
Yeah. She has
It's
a very nice body.
Yeah, it's weird that, like, that's a generally accepted thing, that, like, a lot of people are attracted to this cartoon. But it's true.
I think it was Nathan. He might have been the first person to ever, like, say that. And I remember being kind of like, what? It might not have been Nathan.
She's nice hips, man.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. And she's all, like, stretchy and everything.
Oh, it's kind of like some subliminal, like, erotica there, yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah. No, that's been a thing, like, in my timeline pretty much constantly now. Just so many sexualizing Elastigirl memes.
Is it like a text, or is it like a picture?
It's mostly, like, pictures and, like, it's
like,
coupled with captions that are like, like, let's make Jack, and, like, just, like, crass things, you know? It's great.
One thing, a little nitpick, is that there's a lot of pandering baby Jack humor in The Incredibles too.
Maybe for the little kid audience.
Yeah, like, it's okay to use it sparsely, but there's sometimes where it's just like, oh, it's funny because he's a little baby.
Interesting. His powers are nuts.
Yeah, they are. And I didn't remember, no one knew that he had powers in the first Incredibles.
Yeah.
In the second one,
they're
Mr.
very
Incredible,
aware.
he finds out and he's, like, happy. And he doesn't tell anyone at first, but, like, yeah.
Oh, that's weird that they did that. Yeah, you're right. At the end of The Incredibles, no one knows that Jack has powers.
Yeah, no one does. Except for, well, there's the scene where, like, they're in the air and Jack starts using his powers and he's fighting the bad guy.
Yeah, but no one sees it.
Yeah, exactly.
No one sees that. That totally makes sense.
Yeah, so it's cool.
The babysitter knew. Because they heard on the phone, like, they heard on the voicemail that was left by the babysitter that Jack was, like, going crazy and, like, he's nuts. So I think they figured something. So they carry that on in this one, like, Mr. Incredible finds out and doesn't say anything.
Yeah, it may have been in one of the trailers.
That's kind of cool.
He's holding him up and he's like, you have powers!
Cool.
But yeah, it's a fine movie. That's all I really have to say about it. It's not Pixar's best. It doesn't have anything that, like, rips your heart out or anything. You're not going to cry from watching Incredibles 2 unless you're just that big of a fan.
Yeah.
It's like Star Wars fans crying and clapping and crapping. But it doesn't have that going on for it where it's like, oh, I cried from a Pixar movie.
Yeah.
But it's fine.
Well, good. I'm glad it was fine. At least it's not bad, you know?
No. It's not like Finding Dory where it's just kind of like, all right, this kind of sucks.
Yeah.
This is kind of sucky.
All right. Well, you ready to get into Hereditary?
Yeah, this one's a doozy.
It is a bit.
It's a mind fuck. So this movie had a lot of advertising. I feel like I saw the trailer for Hereditary like every time I went to a movie theater, and had these crazy trailers and a girl with a peculiar face going.
Yeah, like, that's the main bit of the trailers.
That's the drawing point right there.
Yeah,
someone did that in the theater. First time I saw it. Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah, it was funny.
Was it?
Yeah. I read online somewhere, someone was talking about they went to go see it, and in the theater someone, like, they must have snuck in a red balloon and they let it loose in the theater and everyone went nuts. And I was like, that is such a great idea.
That is really funny.
That's amazing.
Oh my god, that's pretty scary actually. Yeah. That's really unnerving.
Should do it for when the second one comes out. Just
we should
in the theater. Just tie it.
Get a helium balloon. How would they even do that? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. But they must have blew it there.
They must have. But how would it have floated?
What do you mean?
You can't just blow up a balloon and have it float. It has to be helium.
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't know. Maybe they smacked it up.
Yeah,
that wouldn't be as effective as
it's like a beach ball. It's like a beach ball in the theater. Then that'd be great. So, was this before or after the movie had started? Do you know?
I think just during the movie.
Yeah.
But anyways, A24 back at it again with another great movie.
Yeah, this movie is pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
It's directed by Ari Aster. It's his first movie. He made some short films before this. I don't know if they have anything to do with horror or suspense or the supernatural. Haven't looked into that at all. But as far as a directorial debut, it's pretty great.
It is great.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well made.
It is. There's really unique shot design.
Mm-hmm.
There are little to no jump scares, and the movie really benefits from it.
It has a unique vibe.
It does, especially coupled with the score.
Yeah.
There are times where this movie feels retro. Like, to me anyway, the score felt throwbacky and synthy, but not in the way that It Follows was. Much better. Much better
like
done.
More like The Shining, kind of.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Its music, just kind of eerie.
Yeah, a little bit.
Dreadful music.
Yeah.
But
I could see that. It just felt like a throwback movie.
Like an intelligent horror film.
Yes.
That doesn't really get made anymore.
Yes.
So where it's trying to kind of not just be a great horror movie, but like just a good, well-made like movie. You know, like a Rosemary's Baby, The Exorcist, The Shining. A movie where it's not just great because it's a horror film, but it also has like great character drama in it.
Totally.
And I want to see more horror films like that.
I do too.
But Jacob, what's this movie about? Without spoiling anything.
This movie is about it's about a family, really, and it's about them dealing with the death of their grandmother and kind of their relationship with the grandmother coming to fruition, what it really was, who she was. And that's kind of all I would say about it for non-spoilers.
Has Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Millie Shapiro in her first role, and Alex Wolff, who's turning out to be a good little actor.
He's a decent little actor, you know? I saw him, I recently watched Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. Surprisingly good. I actually liked it a lot.
I want to check it out now.
Yeah, the first 15 minutes are a little rocky, but man, like it picks up and it gets good, and I couldn't wait to watch the rest of it. Like I'm dead serious. Like I was genuinely happy to be on a plane. That never happens.
You're like, you know what? If this plane goes down, at least
I watched Jumanji.
At least I finished Jumanji.
Yeah. Also, it's a decent sequel. It's a good sequel. It's not a reboot. Yeah, it's a sequel.
Well, you have it right here. A solid recommendation of Jumanji. I really want to watch it now.
Yeah, you should. You should. It's fun.
I was detesting Jumanji because the trailers were pretty generic.
They were.
Generically lame, but...
It's a fun little, like, in the same way that Ready Player One's a fun adventure movie.
Okay.
You know, like, it's a good popcorn movie.
Is it better than it has any right to be?
Absolutely. Okay. It's way better than it has any right to be. And also, it adds a little bit to the original Jumanji. A nice little touch.
Some lore.
Nice touch. Some lore. It kind of goes, hey, you know Alan Parrish, when he comes out looking like a caveman, where was he? Where was he? Was he in the board game? What was he doing?
But it's not as good as your pitch for the Jumanji
no, it's
sequel.
Not. Absolutely not.
Where it makes note that Alan Parrish killed himself.
Yes.
Or he's dead.
He does it on screen. In a very brutal, disgusting way.
CGI Robin.
Yeah. Blowing his head off.
Is X's death the most shocking celebrity death since Robin Williams? No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean, Carrie Fisher. That was probably
that's right.
easily the most shocking one. So shocking one in the last decade, I would say.
First Robin, David Bowie, Fisher, now X.
God, the fact that sentence was said. Anyway, Hereditary. Let's get back on track.
Toni Collette is amazing.
She is so good in this.
Gives one of the best performances of the year. Should get nominated. Probably won't. Hopefully she does.
Yeah,
I think
she should.
Yeah, I think everyone who's seen Hereditary would agree that she is phenomenal in the movie.
She really is. She's great. She does a really genuinely good job.
You want to know something?
Yeah, what?
Toni Collette, she's only 45.
Really?
Yeah, I looked it up, and I thought she was, like, older. I'm not saying because she, like, she looks so old. I just didn't think she was that age, because that means she was really fucking young in The Sixth Sense. She was, like, 27.
Yeah, you're right.
That's crazy. I didn't realize. Crazy. So when I found out she's only 45, I was like, wow. But yeah, Toni Collette.
Hot take, she looks really good, actually.
You know what she is?
She's quite attractive.
She's not, like, traditionally, like hot, but, like, you know what? There's something kind of aesthetically pleasant.
I think that her and Diane Lane are hot in the same way.
Diane Lane?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Diane Keaton.
No.
It was going to be like, ew,
no,
gross.
No, absolutely not. Diane Lane. Diane Keaton.
Both beautiful women.
Yeah.
Love how in the
naturally beautiful, like just you know what I mean.
Yeah, not like Margot Robbie, where it's just like, wow, she's hot. You know?
Yeah, no offense to Margot Robbie.
Well, yeah,
I mean she is hot.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I get what you mean. Of a difference.
Yeah, there's absolutely.
I'm glad we share that take on Toni Collette.
I'm glad we do too. We didn't know that.
It's probably because she's a great actress.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Just like, wow,
we're just attracted to good cinema. Yeah. That Alex Wolff, he's fucking hot.
his mole on his lip.
Yeah.
His big nose.
Yeah.
His greasy hair.
I told you this. I think that he is the Naked Brother. He is a member of the
Naked Brothers, was the drummer.
Yeah, no. I think that he was the Naked Brother that was in competition to win the part of Spider-Man.
See, you brought this up to me, and I want to say it was the other one.
He's too old, though. He's way too old. Yeah, like this one actually looks like a high schooler.
All right, I want you looking up shortlist for Peter Parker now. And we'll see which Wolf.
All right.
I want to say if it is, then I was wrong. But I want to say it was the brother, Nate Wolff. He wouldn't have been too old, would he?
Is it Nat Wolff or Nate Wolff? I feel like he would have been too old. He's too old in Death Note.
I mean, yeah, he wouldn't have been a good choice. I'm not. I'm not saying that he should have been Peter Parker. I just don't feel like
they... Alright, hold on. Oh my god, it was Nat Wolff.
Yes.
Son of a bitch, man. Yeah. God, well... Damn, Alex Wolff would have been a great choice.
Yeah.
I think he would have been pretty good. I mean, Tom Holland
is awesome. Obviously perfect.
Yeah. Man, Tom Holland looks so young in these pictures for the short list. He has aged. He's... Also, they got rid of his mole. Tom Holland had a mole on his chin that they got rid of.
Really?
Yeah, before he was Spider-Man. The last time he was on screen in whatever... Oh, someone shouted. In whatever he was in, he had a mole. Maybe it was the Impossible. I don't know. But then, next time, no mole.
Gee, thanks, Sony. We gotta get rid of that ugly-ass fucking mole on your face. You're imperfect, Tom.
Think of what they would have done to Alex Wolff.
Oh my god.
Zapped it.
They would have,
zap it off.
They would have, decolorized him. Alex Wolff, because he has.
Yeah.
Alex Wolff. He has a dark complexion.
He does, yeah. You have some theories. That's so stupid, Collin. That's such a dumb theory.
It is. It leads to the name of the title of the movie.
It's dumb. Anyway.
So I've seen it twice,
and I've seen it once.
Yeah, we saw it today, and First time I saw the movie, I was totally immersed in it. Because I wanted to know where it was going, all that stuff. Second time, I didn't even plan on seeing it a second time in theaters. Second time, I was just kind of watching it, going through the motions of the movie.
Yeah,
and
as you do.
Yeah, and I kind of noticed it does kind of drag a little bit more.
It does. Second time. It drags in the middle a little bit. Because there's a part where I asked myself, I was like, man, is this movie about to end right now? Like, is this the ending? Because it could have been an ending. I would have been okay with it if it went toward like the ending that I think everybody knew that was coming, or I did anyway. But and then it just kept going. And when you do that, when you tease an ending scene like that, or like an ending sequence, and then go back into the movie for more, and then it just keeps going, that's when you make it drag. Like,
I'm not too sure if I know which scene.
I'm not even sure if I can explain it because I need to remember. It's still fresh in my mind-ish, but still kind of blurry on it. But I had to recollect all my memories of Solo.
I think everything is pretty much very well executed as far as direction, acting, really good cinematography, and not in like a fancy pants like, like, wow, this is so visually amazing. Just a well shot movie.
I found it very unique, and like it had its own little flair to it, and I really I like the way this director did that. Like it looks good, and there are shots like there's a day and night shot in this that it's extremely abrupt. Like it's
like,
it's a switch from night to day,
and it's
just like that. Yeah, but like the camera's staying stationary, like nothing has changed. Nobody else would have done that. I just think it's really good. Like that stuff like that in this movie. There are very long takes, long shots.
There's like a weird like kind of dissociation vibe with the movie.
Yeah, like dissociation. Like you mean like from reality or like
from like the house is by itself in the woods, and it just kind of seems like they're always far away from everything, because like they have to like drive down everything, and isn't it just like that one road or something? That's just my kind of like what I got out of the movie, is that they feel far and isolated from everyone else. Kind of like
you never really see like a town or anything. Yeah, you see her. The only other place is like the place where she's going to go to therapy.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't see much towns. There is a scene where like Toni Collette's like getting art supplies, and in the background it's just kind of like hills.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a vibe I got. There's kind of like this dissociation, like isolation. It's like those people that live in the country, and it takes them like 45 minutes to like get to the actual like town every day. I also noticed the sets were really good, like the house, the way it was designed, and everything that felt unique. Felt like
I liked that it actually felt like a real house.
Yeah, it was a good setting.
Yeah, it like the lighting felt like your own house.
Yeah,
it didn't feel like
movie lighting.
Yeah,
where everything's perfectly lit. It kind of had like orangey dimness. Sometimes, like some parts of the house were kind of darker because there just weren't any lights. I guess.
Yeah, and like not all the lights are on. Not everything has to be perfectly, like synchronized and lit like that. Like that's not how houses work. I think that adds to a bit of like the horrorness of it, because like it does feel like a normal house, and also there are sunny days. In this movie,
it's not a dark movie.
Yeah, like some of the stuff happens in the daytime. Overall, it's gloomy, but like not exactly the weather. It's more like the attitude presented.
Yeah, the atmosphere.
Yeah,
the plot has to deal with a lot of grief.
Yeah, it doesn't deal with it by making everything dark and stormy for the whole movie. You know what I mean?
I think it does rain at one point, and it's only implied by like lightning flash.
Oh, I remember what you're talking about. Yeah.
But that's kind of a more spoilery scene.
I don't remember that scene either.
So there's a good bit of hype for this movie as far as like the marketing.
People were calling it the best horror film since The Exorcist.
The scariest movie since The Exorcist. All that stuff. And do you think the hype lived up for you, Jacob?
Yeah, I do. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Good. I thought it was very good, very well done. I had tempered my expectations. You went in with your expectations really high. I know that.
Yeah, pretty high. I was expecting. My expectations like pretty much matched. I think there's some storytelling issues. I think.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I don't really have any gripes as far as storytelling goes. I think
well, for me, it's like halfway through, it's like, oh, it's this type of horror movie. But to its credit, it does set it up in the first act with like little tidbits and little things. So it's not like it comes out of nowhere, but it's like, oh, it's this type of horror movie. Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I thought that. I'm glad it's the type of horror movie it is. I'm glad that it actually like it has an ending. It doesn't leave it ambiguous necessarily. It does, but it doesn't. It explains things to you. I'm glad that I liked it. I liked it a lot. Nothing really shocked me. Something really did shock me, and it's the scene that shocks everybody with this movie, I'm sure. And maybe like one other scene, but like where the story went, what was set up, what everything, you can start outlining it, what's you think's gonna happen. And at that point, like once I started outlining it, I thought the movie was gonna end at a certain point when we're not into spoilers yet, but like I thought it was gonna end at a certain point and it didn't. And I thought it would have been a really quick, like premature ending, and it shouldn't have ended there, but it made me anticipate the ending, thinking that something was gonna come of this. And then it didn't. It didn't end, kept going.
And you're like, and the movie went on for another hour and a half.
Yeah, no, it's for real. And like, that's not a good thing to make. Like, it made me think about the ending. And then I was just like, okay, well, it's all leading up to that. So like, let's get there. And it didn't really need to be that long. Maybe that's just a first viewing thing.
It's actually not that long of a movie. I think it's
feels long.
I think it's like 2 hours and 7 minutes.
That's still kind of a long movie.
But
2 hours is long, but like, is it? If 2 hours is long, but 150 minutes is short, so like what,
It kind of drags a little bit, a bit at times.
It dragged for me there.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's something that will bother everybody unless you're looking out for it.
See, it didn't bother me the first time because I was just like, where's it? I kept wanting to know where the movie was going.
Yeah.
And now, since I know everything that happens in the movie, I just kind of went through the motions and was just kind of like, all right, this could be a bit tighter at certain times.
Yeah, I would agree. Some of my favorite scenes, involve like super long shots.
I love the opening shot. Amazing. The first little opening scene. Shot? It's in the trailer of the model house. That becomes the movie.
That's really good too.
Just a really cool, inventive way to get like the mood going.
Yeah.
Just like that's bizarre.
Yeah, and some people will be like, "Well, it was fake the whole time. It was in the house the whole time." No, it's just a metaphor.
Like, exactly. It just
looks cool.
Yeah, pretty much.
Sets the mood.
It's just strange and sets the mood exactly.
Yep. It works too, because like you think it's the model at first, and then you're like, "Man, this is really detailed. Man, okay, that's okay. They're moving. We're in the movie now. Okay, I'm immersed in it." Like you said, it's immersive.
Mm-hmm.
It sucks you right in. It's a good grabber.
So do we want to go ahead and get into specifics?
Yeah, there's not terribly much to talk about, I don't feel like.
There's a lot to talk about.
I mean, like, yeah, there is, but really, how much is there? Because, like, there's like 4 or 5 points in the whole movie. The movie's not that eventful, if you really think about it.
It's because it is a very kind of like it's a lot of scenes and people just talking. It's not like
it's very dramatic. It's more of like an upsetting drama than a horror film, but then it has its horror elements.
It's not a spectacle.
Yeah,
of like epicness.
Yeah,
but if I were to rate this, I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I would give it a 9.
Damn,
9 out of 10.
Wow.
I really like this. Yeah, this was really good.
Wow, great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think it'll age well.
I'd give it like, all right, well, like I don't just mean like an 8, but like I do really like it too. It's definitely the second favorite for this year. It was first favorite before I saw First Reform. So second favorite movie of the year. It'll probably end up being definitely the best horror movie of the year. I don't think any horror film is going to top this. I feel like this movie,
I don't see it happening.
I think this movie will age well too.
Yeah,
I think you're right. I think it's a good contender for one of the better horror movies to come out recently.
Yeah, the more you rewatch it, I'm sure that like, yes, the story will appear meticulous, like and like just slow moving I think that's the point too. Like it's meant to be like that. It's not meant to rush through anything. It takes its time. But I think that just like how beautiful this movie is, like The Shining is also slow, by the way.
It is a very slow movie. It's a longer movie too.
Yes,
than
it is.
Hereditary.
And it feels it too. But like you look at The Shining for like the overall atmosphere that it presents, I think people will look back at this in the same way.
I think you're right. I think apparently Toni Collette was like executive producer or something on it.
Really, didn't
so
know that.
She must have gotten like a hold of the script and was like, "Oh, we should make this, mate." She's Australian.
She's hot. All right, so let's get into the spoilers.
So if it wasn't for that damn Satan-loving grandma,
right? She ruins the whole thing. The Satan-loving grandma and Peanuts are they're the villain of this piece. Well, it turns out that the grandma worships
Payman? Just hell in general, I suppose.
Yeah, I guess hell in general, but specifically they're trying to resurrect,
reincarnate,
give birth to Payman.
Yes.
Who is a god, a king of hell.
Yeah, a close disciple and follower of Satan, and like a god of knowledge.
Yeah.
Something like that.
God of mischief, it says too.
Yes. I was like, Loki. Marvel movies.
He's not quite the same,
is Thor going to show up to defeat Payman?
Oh my god. But it's like Matthew McConaughey. It's very dramatic.
So like what I was saying, where it's like, oh, it's this type of movie, it's when like you think it's like Ghost. Like, oh, the seance.
Oh, yeah.
But I like it's like, no, it's a fucking cult, like, demon movie. You know?
Yeah. I kind of... Look, I was never fooled into that. Because, like, the whole Joan character... They present this character that's meets Toni Collette at this...
And Dad.
Wait, what?
That's the actress's name.
Oh.
There was some joke. It was on I don't know if you ever heard the channel What the Flick, but they were like, yeah, she's in like... Apparently she's in a lot of movies, like, right now.
Oh.
Like, coincidentally, or something, I don't know. It was some joke. But she's good in it.
Yeah, she's fine.
She plays her part well.
Yeah.
She's hot.
No. Sorry. No. But, she's not Toni Collette, sorry. But, she's presented, and we meet her at the grieving, like, therapy session that Toni Collette attends. Can we just call Toni Collette Hot Toni Collette now? I'm just gonna call her that.
Dude,
so
she's really hot in The Sixth Sense.
Yeah, she is. She's alongside Bruce too.
She's like a hoochie mama in The Sixth Sense.
Oh my god.
Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I am, because I want some context here.
Masturbate to Toni Collette tonight?
Definitely, absolutely.
Just like I wish she would bang her head on my chest.
Jesus, that's
repeatedly.
Oh, gross. Now I'm thinking about that moment. Anyway, yeah, she is pretty hot. Anyway, what were we talking about? Toni Collette.
And Dow.
Well, yeah. So Joan is presented, and I immediately suspect it. Like it's very obvious. They set that shit up so heavy-handedly. And is this movie bad? No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah, she's like running after her, because you can think of it like cult members are like, she's fucking leaving. Like, go run after her. Like, we can't fuck this up.
Yeah,
because that's how she's in her. She's like in front of the car, and like it's kind of funny. Like, she's just like, wait, stop.
Yeah, she does it in a convincing old lady though. She's diabolical.
Like, oh, I'm nice, I'm very sweet, and like I just want to help. Just
turns out she's just trying to behead this family.
Yeah. That they've been worshipping for quite some time.
Yeah.
That was creepy. When they go through the album, this stuck out to me. There's like a picture of them with their family portrait in the photograph. And
they're worshiping
They're all
it.
like praising, like they're like, oh, the vessels.
That's weird. Yeah, that's genuinely disturbing.
Creepy.
Yeah.
That's fucking creepy.
It is
like if you saw that in an album.
Yeah, that's upsetting. Why would you ever take a picture of that and print it out and put it in a book? Why would you do that?
It's memories, dude.
I guess
sweet,
you're right.
sweet memories.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, you're right. I guess they view it as like an affectionate thing. Like they're resurrecting the king of hell. They're not murdering you. They're giving you.
It's a ritual that's bound to happen to them.
Yeah.
And like they see it as like a positive thing. It's like a joyous thing.
It's worth celebrating.
Maybe we should just become Satanists. They seem pretty fucking happy.
Yeah, they do.
They seem pretty goddamn happy, if you ask me.
Yeah,
Anyway, one scene that I didn't like is the seance scene. Not that it's like terrible, but it's like it could have been taken. Oh, I guess it's more to show like, oh, Toni Collette, she's in this. Like she sees it, she believes it, she's gonna give it a shot. But couldn't
I
they
actually like that scene because it's
really
like kind of horrifying. Yeah, like it's not like
Hi, Louie.
in most of these things. Yeah, it starts off there, and you're like, okay, he'll move the shit around and make like something, but then like it goes full into it where it's like, I love you, Grandma, and like. Yeah, that was kind of disturbing to me a little bit. I was like, okay, that would shake me.
I found that oddly whimsical. Like, it reminded me of Poltergeist.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah, I agree.
Because there's no, like, ominous, like, music. It's like, I don't think there's any music at all. It's like more whimsy. Like Joan is all, like, happy, and she's like, look.
Yeah, I agree. Poltergeist is a very good
comparison for that scene.
There, yeah, that's very accurate. I didn't hate that scene.
I mean, I don't hate it. It's just a gripe because that's the first time where it's like, oh, it's this type of horror movie. I didn't know it was gonna like have to deal with like ghost or something. I mean, it's not like I was blindsided, but maybe I was expecting more like psychological, and it just seemed a little jarring at first.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, seance, talk to the dead, you know?
Yeah, I would... I mean, I guess it kind of has to be in this movie. But, like, it all makes sense, too, like, when you put it in the big picture. Like, Joan is a part of, like, this Satanist group.
Yeah.
It's probably... She was just conjuring a fucking spirit or something. Like, we don't know if that was her son or not.
I don't know. I'd like to think maybe she was probably telling the truth about that. Unless it was just Payman.
It could have been.
Unless it was Payman, just like, oh, sure, I'll write. I love you, Grandma.
See, I doubt Payman would participate in that.
Is Payman dormant?
I think he is. Like,
is he a looming presence? That's what I like about the movie, is that you can kind of, like, spin off ideas. Even though, by the end of the movie, there is a clear payoff. Getting there, there's lots of stuff that you can think about. Like, oh, like, when did the grandma's body get shoved into the attic? Who did it? Probably the cult members. When did they come in there? And it's not like, oh, it's bad writing. It's more like it's left out because it's creepy to think about.
Yeah.
That this is, like, going on.
Yeah.
Dude, I've heard, like, some, like... I don't know if I misheard something, but is there a shot in the movie of, like, the outside house and you can see people, like, standing in their yard or something? Is that a thing?
I didn't see that.
All right, never mind. I mean, no,
but
I
wouldn't put it past the movie because the movie has stuff like that in it.
Yeah, where it's like, oh, if you notice it, like, there it is. But,
yeah. Well, like, there's a lot of stuff like that in the movie too, like where Charlie is walking in the field and sees her grandma circling a fire.
Yeah, like hanging out
and it's
in
like,
a line
but
of
her
fire.
grandma's been dead. Like, why does she see that? Who fucking knows? Like, it doesn't matter. Everything in this movie, like, there's a lot of coincidences that are just
she sees that after the spirit shimmer is introduced.
Yeah.
Which has an interesting music cue.
It's not whimsical.
Yeah, it's
like,
not scary. It's like magical.
Yeah.
Which plays into the kind of somewhat joyous ending that this movie has. Which I think is kind of...
It's triumphant.
Yeah, it's like this cathartic experience. It has a happy ending if for Joan, if you ask her.
I mean, yeah, Joan, and I would say that Alex Wolff has a happy ending too. I don't know what his character's name was.
Well, we haven't even discussed the most shocking scene in the movie. Shocking scene for me.
Okay, yeah, all right. The most shocking scene in the movie is when the little girl's decapitated by a telephone pole. And like, that telephone pole also has a Satanist logo on it.
And this happens 30, 40 minutes in the movie? Maybe 30?
I would say
it's early on.
25 to 30 minutes.
Charlie, she's not in the movie that often.
No.
And if you watch the trailers, you don't know that.
It's a quite shocking scene. It was at this point that I didn't know where the movie was going.
Yes, and I love that whole sequence from when they're going to the party to when she's getting buried. I think it's really good, really suspenseful. You know,
It is. You're on the edge of your seat. You know something's going to happen.
she eats some chocolate cake with nuts in it.
Yeah. What kind of kids are just making cake at a party? Just
Hey,
chopping
they're
up
out
a bunch of
there-
nuts.
That's a lot of fucking nuts.
Those
for
were a lot of
cake.
nuts. Yeah, it was a lot of nuts.
It's like covered the entire counter
Yeah.
with nuts.
It's a whole cutting board full of just peanuts.
The girl chopping, it's like, oh, we're using all of them. Oh, these are all going into one batch. Don't worry.
You gotta think somebody was like, hey, Sharon, maybe you want to lay off the fucking nuts next time, all
Yeah,
right?
maybe someone here has an allergy.
Yeah,
Maybe
Jesus.
someone's a vessel for payment. And
Yeah.
we're all... that girl chopping the nuts doesn't know. Just, hey, you helped Payman get reincarnated. Who?
King Payment.
King Payman.
It sounds like good. Like, it sounds like, it's like rolls off your tongue. It's like, yeah, King Payment,
yeah,
bitch.
He's gonna make everything prosperous again.
Yeah, he's gonna tell you about all the sciences of the earth.
But just that scene, it's more shocking the second time because you're just waiting for it to come. But yeah, she gets decapitated on a pole. That's really gruesome
Yeah, it
to
is.
think. Like, if your head is out a window, swerves because there's like a dead animal in the road, and just... And it's truly terrible. It's just, like, awful.
Yeah, it's very unsettling.
Yeah.
It's
upsetting.
Yeah, it is upsetting.
Alex Wolff is just sitting there, like, just frozen.
That's an amazing
Yeah.
scene. His acting is so good there. It's just like
We're fans. We're Alex Wolff fanboys
we're Alex Wolff
now.
fans. Yeah. Crazy car. Remember that? It's a callback.
It was a crazy car.
Yeah.
After all.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No.
The true meaning behind that song revealed.
To give a little Wabam credit, one of their guests said, like, he's like, I won't be surprised if there's like a mashup of Crazy Car in that scene.
Oh my God, you're right. He's right. That's amazing.
Car,
We're going nowhere. Going nowhere. Slud. Thud. Just cut to the head with all the flies on it. That's extremely gruesome,
Yeah.
by the way. That's a very disgusting scene.
Her jaw is like, you can like see her teeth and like her tongue
Yeah.
like hanging out,
Yeah.
covered in ants.
And her eyes, like, I couldn't tell if her eyes were open or closed.
I
think one was open.
Ugh.
Yeah, it's gross. It was a good prosthetic, I guess. Or rubber mask thing. So where does it go after that? I don't know what happens.
Well, it's all, to me, it's all kind of like one scene. It has like a beginning, middle, and end. It's like a
Mhm.
little movie. They get to the party, they hang out, whatever. Alex Wolff or Peter's like getting high. Great portrayal of a modern teenager. Just, hey, I got some good weed. You know?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, like, he's just really disattached. Like,
yeah, doesn't care. He just wants to get high and like bang a girl that he likes.
And I enjoy that.
It's very understandable motivation.
It is, and I enjoy that the girl wasn't like, she's just at this party and she's reading, but also other people are there doing the same thing. It's not like, oh, she's the bookworm. She doesn't want to be at this party.
No,
like, she's just there. She's hanging out. You know, she's being a normal
just
person.
your average teenager.
Yeah,
And,
and then he offers her weed, and she doesn't play like, yeah, she smokes weed. She's a teenager. That's what they do.
Yeah.
Like, they just don't. They didn't try to play into any tropes or anything. They just kind of portrayed high school. It was good.
I like how the parents, they just don't even realize that their son's just like smoking a bong in his room. Because they're
that's pretty funny, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like they're so oblivious, you know? Toni Collette and Gabriel Byrne, they're so oblivious to like that, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
when he blows it out of his window too, there's someone like watching him.
yeah, I noticed that too. That's creepy.
Because it's funny because when I was thinking about the scene as it was watching, I was like, isn't like his like best? This is so stupid. I don't know why I was thinking this. I thought of this the first time I saw the movie too, because I didn't register that it's. Is it Charlie watching him or just who fucking knows?
It was somebody outside.
Yeah. Was it Charlie from her treehouse? Because she sleeps there.
Oh, it could have been.
Could have been. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It like sounded like an animal to me. I was like, oh, this is like an animal. Like
it's Payman.
Yeah, it's Payman.
But
Payman's just a dude, I think.
But first time I like saw it and like I was registering it, I thought it was his friend he was texting, and like they lived next door to each other, and they were both getting high out of their window. And I was like, oh, is it like his buddy next door getting high too? Because you can see the breath coming out, so it looks like smoke is coming in at like two opposite directions.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I was thinking like, oh yeah, that's what's probably going to happen. And then it cuts to the next scene, and I forgot that I had that assumption. Looks over to his buddy at his window, just giving him a thumbs up, hitting a bong.
That would have been some much needed levity in this film. Jesus, this film is dour.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it. That was good.
I think. All right, so I have a theory on the book.
Yeah. The book?
Yeah, because she throws it in the fire and she gets burned, and then her husband is the one who gets burned. I think like it was like playing a trick on her.
It was, yeah. It's sentient.
Yeah, just to get him out of the picture. Because I could see that being a complaint. Be like, well, why did he catch on fire? It's like it was like a trick because they set it up that she makes it think, oh, I'm.
Yeah, it's not linked a rule. To the book. Yeah, it's not a rule. She's not linked to anything.
It's a trick.
Yeah, it's a demon, and also like, I think the demon plays into her hero like factor too, because she has to be heroic, and she's gonna burn to death, essentially.
Yeah, because before that she's like, I'm the only one who can fix this.
Yeah, and she thinks that doing that will do it, and like it's just totally like backfires on her. Knowing that she was gonna die, it ends up still backfiring on her. Like that's a good moment. Mm-hmm. His death is earned too. I mean, it's sad. He's the straight man in this whole thing. He's just the only guy who's keeping it real. Oh man. Let me think. What else happens in this film? What happens?
Toni Collette's miniatures. I have a theory about that too.
Please.
I have a feeling that has to do something with Ari Aster, and maybe he knows someone who does that because it is kind of unique, like for a movie, especially a horror movie, miniatures. I'm thinking maybe someone in his family actually does that, and he decided to put it in a movie.
Maybe. I think the metaphor about like with Toni Collette's character, compartmentalizing your problems, the things that scar you, the things that are hard to look back at, the things that are like that are imperfect in your life, the problems. Like she makes models of every like tragic event or not tragic. Yes, tragic events are included, but events too that just she's been affected by in some way, shape, or form. Whether she knows it or not, she's making miniatures out of them.
She has a great character moment where she's making a model of the accident, and she's just like, it's a neutral view.
Yeah, that is a good moment.
She's like pissed at her husband for like looking down at her for doing this, being like, you're sick. You're a sick woman, my wife. My wife, the sick lady.
He does. I like that moment because he could have been like, you're disgusting, you're broken, you're sick. But he views it in like the best way, where he's like, "What if our son saw that? Like, that would scar him. Like, that's pretty awful."
Thanks, Tony.
Yeah. God damn, you're hot bod.
God damn, you're rockin' tits, Tony.
Yeah, right. Oh God. Anyway.
Is it weird that
it's like a metaphor for compartmentalizing your problems and like, putting them in a box, pretending like they don't exist, pretending like they were fake. It's good.
Is it weird that I love the scene where she's just floating in the air with, I guess, I think it's piano wire, and just slowly ripping her head off with it? I feel like
pretty fucked.
Yeah, but I love that shit in movies because I love horror movies, so I love seeing stuff like that I've never seen before.
Yeah, she's possessed there, right? She's not doing it herself. Like, it's just a spirit has gotten into her.
It's like the ritual, basically. Like she's doing what must be done, but it's disgusting when she starts speeding it up.
Yeah, that is really gross.
Just
it's
faster.
splattering everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
And then he jumps out, and then you keep hearing it going faster and faster. It doesn't show her head falling out, but you just hear it.
Yeah, you hear her head fall off, but you don't hear her body.
Yeah, you're right.
It's still floating.
Well,
like it's.
You see her shadow float over Peter when he's laying there.
Yeah,
that's
pretty eerie too.
Because then when he looks up, you see her headless body float into the stable. Both times, people chuckled, which is fair. I guess
it's a funny looking shot.
That type of visual is gonna get that reaction to it. I thought it was awesome. It didn't come off as funny, but just as a fan of horror and macabre and extreme things, especially kind of surreal type stuff. I love that image of just a floating headless body. That's fucking awesome.
It was pretty eerie. I liked it. I liked the final showdown in the treehouse with everybody. Not really showdown, but like I guess because all right, Alex Wolff jumps out the window.
Yeah, because he's like, "Fuck this!" Like,
well,
a la Texas Chainsaw Massacre, jumping out a window because you're just surrounded by insanity.
Yeah, he jumps out the window, lands at the ground, and I think there he gives up.
Yeah,
he gives himself over to it.
Yeah, because I don't know if he died.
No, I don't think he died.
Yeah, I'll go with you on this one. I think while he's laying there, he doesn't want to get back up. He's probably in fucking pain.
Yeah,
from jumping out of a window. So that's when Charlie or Payman, the vessel, the Shimmer, is finally able to just take him. Because in the classroom before that, he resisted.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Which I wonder how they did that.
Yeah, that looked pretty fucking cool.
His eyes are like getting red and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right, so he gives into it, just welcomes it, lets it happen.
The ritual's complete.
Yep.
Maybe there's nothing he could even do about it after the third decapitation.
Maybe.
But then maybe he was just screwed. Ritual's complete. The shimmery light's gonna enter your body.
But so yeah, I wonder what the tongue clicking is about.
It was just a weird character quirk, but then by the end of it, when he does it, you realize it's like, oh, it's Charlie. They call him Charlie.
Yeah, they do. Which I don't really get that.
Joan calls her Charlie.
Yeah, I don't really get that. I didn't feel like it was the same person. I feel like Charlie was a person and Payman was a person.
Maybe an amalgamation of the two coming together.
Maybe you're right.
Forming one.
Yeah.
Payman and Charlie.
Yeah.
Because Charlie was like
Parley.
Because Charlie was like raised to be the vessel. Grandma wanted me to be a boy. When you're watching that for the first time, well, for me at least, it's just kind of like, oh, that's a nasty thing to like tell a child. But then
I immediately was like, they needed it for a ritual. Like, there's no way that this was anything else. Because she's like, she had her own private rituals. And it's like, what else could that be? Like, what do you even mean by that? If you were to say that at my funeral, I would be upset with you because you made me sound like a Satanist.
I liked the ending more the second time.
I like it a lot. It's really weird. It's just, it goes for it, doesn't it? It's
a very cathartic experience and like has kind of this like eerie, joyful music kind of.
Yeah, him being crowned.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and something about the statue, or not statue, but like the idol that they've made that looks like Payman.
It has
that's pretty fucking eerie.
It has Charlie's head on it.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it has her decapitated head because Payman apparently is depicted as a male with a female face.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, I didn't know anything. Well, you learn a little something after watching this. You're like, oh, there's a King Payman. Is this movie satanic propaganda? Now we know some little factoids. Maybe I don't think the ritual. I think it might be kind of. I don't know.
I'm sure it's made up.
I think Chick-fil-A. We were talking about this when we left. I think Chick-fil-A is a big ploy for
satanic worship.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, and you're probably
all the employees on their Sunday off, they get together Because, dude, there's a lot of times where my meal's been $6.66. And for a company that's closed every Sunday because of their strong Christian morals, that's fucking bizarre. Maybe it's simple economics, they can't do anything about it, but it's fucking peculiar and creepy.
You know, I like your theory. I like it. I'm not going to agree with it, but I like it.
Because even then, like, when you're in the restaurants, it has, like, people, the historic people working at their first Chick-fil-A, our founders. It's creepy.
Yeah, it is, and there's that old man.
Publix might be the same, except they're open every day. Wouldn't be surprised if Publix is the same. You know, those squeaky clean companies that are, like, that rule the world?
Yeah.
Disney, probably.
Oh, Disney does have some stuff like that. I learned about this the other day. Disney has this thing called Club 33.
Is it that thing? And it's like a restaurant that takes like 8 years to get into.
Yeah. It takes years to get into. You have to give like over $25,000 a year to get into it.
Yeah.
And also 33 is a Freemason number. That's like a, you know what I'm talking about? That's like some Illuminati shit.
Oh.
It's most definitely weird.
Yeah, I've heard about that restaurant. It's like, the waiting list, okay, see you in 10 years.
Yikes.
Yeah, I guess because there's that many people, but I don't know why they'd have such a huge waiting list.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I mean, like, look, Disney's pretty strange, right?
I liked how it ended on a model. The last shot of the movie.
Yeah.
It's a model. That was kind of clever little nod.
What was the model again? Can you remind me?
Just the last scene, everyone bowing around Payman. There might be some more intricate detail. It's not shown for very long. And it's just shown in like a black space. It's not on like a desk or anything.
Yeah.
So, any last thoughts about Hereditary? Other than that is, it's an excellent film. Very well done, very well acted. One of the better horror movies to come out. And yeah, one of the best of the year.
I agree. It's a lot of fun.
I wonder if Ari Aster is going to make another movie. I hope.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
I wonder if he's going to make another suspenseful, eerie movie. I'd love it if he did, with like a different type of look and aesthetic to it. You know, I'd be more interested in if he did that than made like some Oscar bait drama. You know?
Yeah, I would be too. You know, I mean, there's 8 more Kings of Hell to get through.
Oh yeah, we were talking about this. That there's going to be Hereditary 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
8, and then 9.
Yeah,
there would have to be 9 because there's 9 of them. And then
it's beat by beat the exact same thing, just a different family with the exact same ending.
Yeah, every time the same music too.
Yeah. A different cult, a different state, a different family. Except they're all related to the first family. Because Hereditary. Hey, what happened? Funny. Hey, what happened to Annie, Peter, Charlie? I don't know. Your mother, she passed away, didn't she? Why? Yeah, because isn't that a thing? Because they call her Queen at the end. So Hereditary, it's about the bloodline.
Do they call her Queen?
Yeah, there's a picture of her in the treehouse at the end for the ritual.
Yeah, the grandmother.
It says Queen Lee, whatever her name was. They referred to her as a queen, and even in the album, it's kind of funny but creepy at the same time. There's like a picture of her wearing like this gown. She's being like showered.
I saw that.
In like golden petals. They're like worshiping her.
That was weird.
So yeah,
she's the bloodline though.
Yeah,
like...
and her dying like needed to happen, I guess. Like I said, it leaves things unexplained, and in a way you can kind of put together your own story. Isn't that what cinema's all about?
That is what cinema's all about.
What are you looking at?
I'm looking at this Disney? Club 33 thing. Yeah, there's like there's an Instagram account run by somebody who's secretly in it.
Isn't there like a lot of Disney memorabilia in it for like the tables and chairs? It's like, oh, this was used to Mary Poppins.
I'm not sure about that. It just looks like really nice like drinks that you get. You can drink alcohol in there. It's one of the few places like in Disneyland where you can drink alcohol in the park. It's bizarre.
In the park?
Strange. Yeah. because it's in the park. There's a 33 lounge or whatever.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Put in a reservation.
This is bizarre. Ugh, God, this is strange. Anyway, so that's Hereditary. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of some sort of last little bit to end the podcast with. Oh, well, that was summer movie Smackdown 2018.
Nice.
Next year, summer movie Smackdown 2019.
Yeet.
Well, hey, we have Jurassic World: The Fallen Kingdom to look forward to.
Yay! It's just gonna end with dinosaurs on the loose, and humanity's gonna be in trouble.
Yeah.
And
we're the endangered species now.
Yeah.
But I guess we can review it on the next podcast, I suppose.
We're the Fallen Kingdom.
Yes. Not them.
Yeah. But anyway, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you can. Where can we find you, Collin? Where can we do that?
Just link my Letterboxd down. I've been trying to rate and review movies a lot more often. It's fun. Is there a music Letterboxd?
I don't know. Might be called Music Boxed.
Maybe. They should make it.
We should make it.
Yeah, we'll make millions.
We will. We would. You can find me on Twitter at Jacob's Wetsuit, Instagram at the same thing, Jacob's Wetsuit. All those, and all those are linked below as well. Go to our website. You can, check us out there. You can follow us on everything.
Are you doing a Shatner right now or something?
I don't know.
What was that?
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's been
I don't know what's happening.
This has been a meaty pod.
Oh, God. Was that your Shatner? That's bad.
It was fine. You just gotta have to pause.
Yeah, you're right.
This has been a.
I'm sorry, I just couldn't think what to
meaty
say.
pod.
If you have any questions or anything that you want read out loud on the show, you can email the show at flying or FPP Creative. Sorry.
Yeah, you're tired, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. God, I had so much energy at the beginning of this thing too.
It was Solo that wiped us out. We had a good discussion on Hereditary, I guess, because we just saw it. And Solo.
FPPcreative@gmail.com. FPPcreative@gmail.com. You can email the show. We'll read your comments out loud and stuff like that. Also, if you want to get in touch with the show, you can look up the Snyder-Collin Facebook page on Facebook, obviously. Thank you for listening, guys. Thank you to Della 2 Dope for the intro.
Thank you to Lucasfilm for Star Wars.
Thank you to
send Snyder all your hot takes and we'll discuss them.
Yep, you can. Yeah. Text me. Don't text me. Tweet me all your hot takes. I'm on Twitter at Jacob's Wetsuit. Anyway, any last words, Collin? Did you watch the U.S. Open?
No.
Me neither. There we go. A guy from FSU won it, though.
All right, final last words. Everyone, go watch The Hills Have Eyes 2 on Amazon Prime. That's a bad fucking movie. If you want to watch a horrible movie, watch The Hills Have Eyes 2 on Amazon Prime for free. Other than that, peace out, everyone. You should end it on one of your sound bites.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, in honor of Kanye's new albums. Just kidding.
I like some of the Gaga songs. What the fuck does she know about cameras?